like a broken soul in a wonderland without angels. That is how I feel when the mirror shows me a stranger. Yeah. And I know they're just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are still meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete when you ain't by my side, when you don't wake up next to me. Yeah, I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete. Yeah, I'm incomplete. Hey, 'cause I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete.
These roads intersect, on each one I reflect. These lines write my story. These places change me, each one replacing, like night into morning. I miss the open air, the going anywhere, riding with you like we used to. Guess I'm better off alone, never know when I'll get home, but I know that home's where the heart is. Guess I'm better off this way, moving to better over the edge. Feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. As the leaves start falling down and the shadows above the town, I can finally see now. I see the fear inside your eyes, I see the pain in your smile. I can finally see now. As the
afraid of the dark? Are you scared? I am you.
See the darkness coming.
I'll take a chance and let you in. Just take my hand and take me home tonight. We defeat all impossibilities. Yeah, you and me. We'll take our hearts and run free into the wild. a black hole, coalesce beneath the ground. All done by my own hand. I allow my feelings to become sad. If you're gonna cut me down, better do it quickly now. Now you can cut me down, but I won't stay for long. I'll grow back again. Oh yeah, my roots are strong.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, welcome back to our, Loot.bet CS League Season 2. It is going to be, of course, our third and final week, or more so, our third and first week of eliminations coming into this second season. And of course, we are here with our only best of 3 of the day. It is going to be Nordavind versus Winstrike, facing it off on Dust, Mirage, and Inferno. Dust being the map pick of Winstrike, of course Mirage being the map pick of Nordavind, and well, pretty much everything in between. In any case, I am not alone as always. It is my dear friend Kieran with me. We will be enjoying this, well, I guess you could say, this beautiful best of 3 together. And Kieran, I think it's safe to say that this is certainly going to be one hell of a best of 3 to enjoy, weren't they?
Yeah, with this being an elimination game, kind of a team that maybe we wouldn't expect to be in that kind of position after their Season 1 performance with Winstrike. But yeah, to say that one of these two teams is going to be out of the event after this best of 3 is kind of a scary prospect, especially with how Nordavind matched up against Windigo. They had quite the decent game despite losing that 2-0. They had a very, very close match in Overpass and nearly took Windigo to, you know, the final extent of maybe even overtime and clutching out a second map. So, yeah, both of these teams have shown us flashes of brilliance across this league, and even with Winstrike in the previous one as well. But yeah, a loser of this best of 3 going to be out of the event entirely. I think the first team to go out as well.
Yes, Winstrike, as far as I can recall, they will be the first one to actually be eliminated. As we saw, I believe it was it Epsilon, or was it, no, it was XCOM that we were watching last time that we casted. I think that they lost their match, and or was it, I actually don't recall who exactly it was. Basically, we watched one of the teams have the match for a 0-2 result, basically. Oh no, it was Nordavind,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cancelled. It was Nordavind then that was we watched lose 0-2, as you said just now, against Windigo. They were the ones that lost it. Wait, was it? Okay, yeah, it was Windigo. Yeah, it was 2-0 for Windigo. Nordavind lost it, and that was their 0-2 result in the league as a whole. But as you said already, yeah, it was Argo versus VP that we were supposed to have yesterday, or was it the day before? In any case, and it was postponed, otherwise let go, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, and that's the obviously cancelled with scheduling. But yeah, that would have been the first team out, which yeah, wouldn't have been good. But yeah, getting into this round here on Dust 2, it is going to be Nordavind to start on the CT side. Winstrike will be beginning on T, and I'm liking the setup already with the plentiful B spawn that these guys have. Surely we'll see a B site rush this time, and yeah, we definitely will. A lot of utility on both Norbert and Boomich to kickstart this round, and with Nordavind heading down toward more of a A-sided stack. Well, that it. Ooh, Holzer could be able to catch himself. Oh, maybe early frag here, but quick. That's a way to open as he shuts down the first. That's information gathered as we begin to see Quick. Oh, doing dink damage. And there's Rubino, yeah, down to 3 points of health. Quick is there to finish. And, surely a great start for this pistol as Croman and Tensky able to trade back into a 3 versus 2. Make that 2v2 as Croman tapping away at heads. And as Quick now able to shut down one more onto Croman. Bondic. Does he hear the final man of Tensky? He definitely does, and has the support of Quick there. Tensky, he makes it a 1 versus 1. Oh, dancing, but Bondic, he's able to come out on top. Winstrike, very scary, but they claim the first pistol.
That was a bit of a close call. Too close for comfort, I would argue, for both sides, really. I mean, if you lose this closely, then you certainly get a little bit tilted, but when you win this closely, you certainly are not feeling too comfortable either way. But luckily for Winstrike, they will take a victory in their hands. It might come on shaky grounds, and certainly still is not stabilized very finally. And we can already see Nordavind forces up. They've got 3 scouts, which is quite surprising, really. Never expected to see 3 scouts in a single round from the CT force, which certainly will diminish their capabilities as to a retake or any sort of a challenge to put up against 5 players running against them. But for the moment, at least they hit Quick, and it does feel like Winstrike might just actually focus on A rather than B and mid. But again, as you mentioned, Nordavind, they actually put up a really good fight against Windigo. Yes, sure, they might have lost. Sure, they might have had a bit of a, shaky overall best of 3, but they put up a fight where, you know, they at least showed us something, on Overpass especially. And one of the surprises to me personally was the fact that Nordavind actually let Dust in the pool, as well as picking Mirage as the second map instead of, you know, pretty much anything else but that. And ooh, Bondik gonna catch off Croman. One before that was Halzerk, and Tensky gets a refrag at least. Again though, Winstrike, as I've said, they do get a little bit of damage here and there, but they've got rifles. They are far superior to that of the scouts, but just as I call those rifles, Radifaction from top mid flanks 2 players. Gets himself an AK, might actually be able to get one to Rubino as well. I think there were 2 AKs on mid. Yep, there it is. This retake certainly becomes a little bit more dangerous to endure. Luckily for Winstrike, they've got Kevlars. But they don't have an AK, and they do not have much utility, or more so none utility. And here we go. Radifaction comes out of window. Norbert close range scout from Winstrike, or more so from World Edit will be enough. And it is 2-0.
Yeah, a great start so far for Winstrike. Yeah, but great damage done by Nordavind there to shut down the majority of those rifles held on the Winstrike side, and that's going to be very, very painful for their economy. Match pause to come in, I assume, potentially. Yeah, from Nordavind, we have a disconnect here, but Winstrike, that was a heavy round to lose weapons in, for the fact that now they're going to have to rebuy. We'll see World Edit down to 3,500, which realistically will only allow him some form of maybe Mac 10 UMP kind of weapon. We'll see, obviously, an eco from Nordavind, so there's really no challenge on that kind of front. So they can put weapons like the submachine guns into the field, but realistically, it's always going to be much more prevalent to keep those AKs alive, and that was a sort of good restriction from Nordavind to make sure that doesn't happen. Obviously, Bondik, the only man really surviving with that kind of weapon, and I think Quick dropped out an AK as well, so...
Yeah, there should be like 4 rifles, I think, 4 AKs.
Definitely.
Actually, no, there should be 5 AKs, I believe. I'm not sure. Quick... No, he doesn't have enough to drop another one. Or does he have one in inventory? I don't think so. But as you said, yeah, I think the smartest choice though here would be Mac 10s, SMGs, UMPs, whatever. You know, AKs are not necessary in this round. It's an eco for Nordavind, and Winstrike know this. They know that they had a force buy to deal with. 3 scouts confirm that, if nothing else. I mean, you know, sometimes it can happen that the enemies do not actually force buy, but a single guy forces up in a scout, and you think, okay, these guys have a force right. He's got a scout. He certainly, you know, buys or bought everything that he could, whilst the rest probably doing the same. But then again, you know, you can be duped a little bit if you're not careful. Although, in this case, you know, 3 pretty much confirm it, as I've said. Again, a match pause seems like a bit of a technical for Nordavind. Hopefully it's not hopefully it's not a real big issue. We had a bit of a delay already as it is. We've only started just a few minutes ago. Some of the players disconnecting, connecting to the server, as far as I could tell through the HLTV bot or the HLTV screen. But yeah, Nordavind going up against Winstrike. This is no easy task. This is no easy battle. We already mentioned they sure put up a great fight against Wendigo. But one thing I think we should be discussing is the fact that they did not play Dust against Wendigo, which is Wendigo's best map. And they didn't... wait, was it Dust? No, it was Mirage, yeah. And they did play Mirage as the first map, their own map pick, that they lost 16-8 on. 11-4 the first F, and then I think it was just 5-2 to Wendigo, with, you know, Nordavind taking here a few here and there. But overall, it was pretty disappointing. So hopefully, you know, in a week's time that they've had time to prepare for this second, I guess, best of 3 they're playing, or third best of 3 in the series, in the tournaments as a whole. I hope they had some practice on Mirage. They will give us some, you know, better performance than they did in the past. Certainly, you know, a bit of a sad story for Radifaction, leaving his former team to join Nordavind, only to be eliminated from said tournament. Well, while his older team is still playing in it. In any case, 2-0, and this is certainly already a bit of a poor start, and it's going to be 3-0 before long. Match pause still in effect, though. I am wondering what is going wrong.
Yeah, this is definitely taking its sweet time. We'll see if the admins can say anything, but yeah. With Radifaction, of course, leaving No Chance. Like you say, No Chance still in the pool. Currently sitting at 1-1. Yeah. I think they're actually, they got a free win. Yeah,
my bad. You're correct. Yeah, they got a free win because alternate attacks forfeited their match.
Yeah, that was the game we were meant to be yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah. Now I remember, yeah.
And alternate attacks have gone on vacation. So brilliant timing, boys. But yeah, in the 1-to-1 round, no chance now actually set at 2-to-1 for the fact that they got the free win off of ATN. No idea why you'd take a vacation during a strict schedule event, but
to be honest, like, yeah, I understand you have a vacation, but I presume you're probably not out of the country in terms of, oh, you know, you literally can't play.
Yeah,
I
guess they mean vacation, like chilling kind of vacation.
Chilling, kind of not playing, having like a few days off before continuing to play and practice. But this is where I would argue, you know what, guys, you know, use those 3 hours of, I don't know, a 5-day break you're using and just play the tournament. It's not like it's that big of a, you know, hit. You don't have to move anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to be at home and you have to play, and that's about it. I would argue, you know, okay, yeah, I understand why you take breaks, but then again, if you're playing from home, I don't think you really, you know, just play, for Christ's sake. No matter if you win or lose, just play, you know, better than completely surrendering and losing either way.
And that's the thing as well. I'd much rather see the teams play rather than forfeit a game out of, you know, not being able to play. So yeah, I think. Unfortunate, but these things do happen, and I think no chance they won't be complaining. It's a free win for them. It puts them basically a game away from playoffs, which is they're always going to take. But I think with this kind of matchup, you always want to, especially with the Swiss system, always want to play your games. You want to give yourself the best chance, because the Swiss system, whilst it's the most thorough way of doing a bracket and being able to make sure that the best teams qualify, essentially. If you win 3-0, you've shown that you are the best or one of the best teams, like Gamer Legion and Tricked have done. Even if you qualify off of a 0-2 and then build it back into a 1-2 and then a 2-2, then a 3-2, that shows again that you have a lot of depth in your game. But yeah, giving up free wins like that, it just sort of dries out the league a little. We don't get to see as much of a storyline, but
that is true.
As we're rambling, this game is still paused. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Well, as far as I can tell, the admin said right now that there is a microphone issue on the side of Nordavind, so hopefully they can fix it. But yeah, certainly, you know, that's actually a pretty big issue. If they can't solve this in time, I actually wonder who the problem is for. I think it was Holzer that disconnected, or was it Tensky that disconnected? I didn't spot immediately, so
yeah, me neither.
But you know, this could come back to haunt them. In any case,
they don't need a microphone. What
who needs a mic? Just play.
Fucking get. Oh wait, no, they can't talk.
Oh wait. Seems like issues have been resolved though, hopefully. So, the faction disconnected. Thank you, Tekker Zizi.
He's taped it back on. There we go.
Well, tape is a solution to everybody. In any case, here we go. It is 2-0. It should be 3-0 pretty soon. We've got, what, 3 rifles, a SMG, the Mac-10, and the Scout overall. And we can already see a bit of a shooting gallery through mid. And it's a cleanup, an easy one at that. Winstrike, this is a perfect start. It is their map pick. They like to play Dust. They've played it multitude of times. They won it multitude of times. Arguably, I guess you could say their results might not show that exactly, I guess you could say perfectly, but the performance they put up on these maps overall have been quite amazing as a whole. And, you know, we'll see how well they can readjust again. One thing to mention is they were the the grand finalists in Season 1. They lost against Avantgarde, and now they're fighting for survival in Season 2 in the first round of elimination, which is quite sad and quite a big drop-off. But look at this! Oh, Norbert! It's 2 for him. World edit for 1 more beforehand, and it's not even a challenge. Mr. Rubino and Holzer left, and well, make it just nobody. His quick eliminates both. Okay, 4-0, and that's one hell of a quick gun run. Felt like it was an eco.
Yeah, that really did. That round came and left as quickly as it did. But yeah, with Nordavind back down to pistols, this is a all but perfect start from Winstrike. They lost those AKs in the second round with the force that Nordavind had, but they bounced back incredibly. And as we see a 4-0, most likely going to be a 5-0 as well. There are a couple of pistols on this Nordavind side, but realistically, Winstrike shouldn't be challenged too heavily. And I think it's interesting as well, the good old observer flashed up the past matches of both of these sides while we were in the pause. Both teams have lost. Well, Nordavind's lost 4 out of 5, and Winstrike have lost 5 out of 5 of their last games. Albeit that Nordavind have had maybe lesser opponents to play against in some of those results. Obviously, they've only played 2 best-of-3s in this league.
Yeah.
With their other losses coming from, I think, ESA Advanced, the sort of the playoff bracket to get into MDL. I think they lost 2-0 to Havu and 2-0 to Forza. So
it was another
team, in their rights.
Yeah. It was also, I think, their last time. Oh wait, no, those results are far too back. I think when they played against, I remember when they played against the Portuguese team Giants, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that was like end of November
before Red Faction even joined them.
Yeah.
Like that's the last one I remember for them. Then I never really saw much of them after that, up until this moment, really, up until season 2 of Loot.bet. In any case, this eco round is not going as badly as initially presumed. Especially with the fact they've already taken down 2 players. If Red Faction can snag a 3rd, it certainly is going to help them a lot. The economy of Winstrike will take a bit of a bow. And, well, there it goes. 3rd down. And that's a pretty good opener, or more so a pretty good exchange for Nordavind. They can diminish the economy as much as possible and, you know, try to make it easier for themselves to try and get back into this game. The one thing we should consider at all times, Dust2 is a map that is not exactly too tactical. It's more reliant upon, I guess you could say, team play, economy, as well as aim. And if you're going to be missing your shots, if you're not going to be able to hold your certain positions, you have no choice but to die. You won't be able to fall back. You won't be able to go for a retake, especially on B, for example. You have to hold the site. You can't go back. You know, you can't wait for your reinforcements and then hope to get the site back in your hands. You have to really, really go for it. In any case, Nordavind, full buys here. Holzerk with the AWP, and we got 4 AUGs. This is a pretty decent buy for Norda.
Yeah, I'm actually liking the setup. I'm glad they went for those AUGs because at this point, even with the money increase, they're still incredibly powerful. Like, there's no stat change, so if you have that extra bit of money that maybe you can sacrifice a flashbang or a diffuse kit, as long as you have enough, I'd say definitely to prioritize those AUGs. And yeah, that's what Nordavind will be doing, especially with that 1 AWP in the hands of Horzerk as well. This is a time for them to get their first on the board. I've realized as well, a lot of games that do start in this kind of dominant fashion for one side, it typically changes at this point. Where a team gets their second gun round, we've seen a lot of 5-1s where it started
or
as
7-1,
5-0. Either a really poor start, then they get that first gun round and start to build, or they get that first gun round and then just go back to square one again. But we've seen a lot of 5-1s in the last games that we've seen from this league. I think we had the same sort of scenario from Dream Eaters SJ on Mirage.
It was Mirage, it was.
Yeah, when they had their stand-in.
Yeah, it was, well, hold on that thought. Red Faction finds 1. That's not exactly going to be a good refrag, though, as Bondik is still ready at that. But, okay, Croman finds the double pushing out of tunnels, and unfortunately for the rest of Winstrike, well, they've only got Boomich left, so that's going to be the end. But as you said, we see a lot of 5-1s, a lot of these kind of, I guess you could say, victories in second buy rounds, because usually if you don't win the second or third buy round, it means that the first half is pretty much going to be ending 11-4, 12-3 of something of the like. But as you said, there is a reoccurring pattern of seeing, you know, a clean straight start and then just a clean 5-5 tie back up, and then, you know, the game picks up from there and really starts to develop and really starts to give us, you know, a bit more juice, I guess, overall. But look at this long push and in pit. Oh no! Norbert has already crossed the pit, and Red Faction, he can't do anything. He gets a kill, but he's way too late. Luckily, Holzerk is ready. Norbert perhaps too sneaky, too fast. Oh wait, what world edit? What are you doing? It's a 3-on-3. Why do you jump pit and lose the bomb while doing it? That is a huge mistake by Winstrike. And they're left in a 3v2. This is horrible.
This is definitely not a way to turn around the scenario for Winstrike, and it seems like Nordavind should be closing out a second round. Boomich at that T-spawn. Bomb lost inside of pit. He will get a little bit of utility thrown out. Realistically, Bondik kind of stuck right now until that smoke does land, and even if it does, it's not going to cover the entire kind of pit cross right now. But even so, with Horzerk playing pretty defensively on top of that A-bomb site with 50 seconds on the clock. A lot of Nordavind sort of men, or all of them, stacked toward this A site, but we do have Croman looking from inside of mid. So as soon as
Yeah.
Winstrike go to move. If they take that mid position, they will get info gathered straight away on that CT side, and it looks like that's what they'll begin to do right now. Even if they go up short, any sort of noise made with utility thrown, and there's Croman already gathering the info, backed up as Holzak fires off the first shot, seeing him backing away, but with time taking a beautiful grenade. Tensky able to finish off Bondik, and that should be the end of the round. 5-2, and they'll put another one on the board on the CT side, and again, we'll start to see them grow after they take that first gun round, and Winstrike, they won't be able to put a buy on the board this time. They'll be broke going into the next. Oh, Boomich. You won't expect Croman in that type of position. Oh, actually might give up a free bomb plant.
Oh, wait. Okay. He can still kill him. Ah, okay. Fair enough. I thought he might still.
Plant, yeah.
Yeah, at least he gets the plant. That's the important part. Winstrike, you know, their economy takes a bit of a dive. As we said, Nordavind dealing a lot of damage in their ecos, and overall, in the rounds that Winstrike won, they've already lost so many rifles. And the one crucial thing is the 2 AKs that came in the second round that were lost. Those are the 2 that are going to be haunting them here, because those could have been, you know, saved up. The economy could have been better for them, but luckily it's going to be reinforced by with 4 AKs and a deagle. I guess that's still acceptable. Winstrike feel like they're confident, or more so feel confident enough to challenge Nordavind with this. Although I would say, for the sake of overall quality, it perhaps would have been better to just go for a bit of a save and try and keep themselves economically stable, because the future is not bright if they're not going to have an AWP on World Edit, if they're not going to be able to fight, against Holzer's op, and if they get denied entries almost every single other round, then, you know, they're not going to get very far with AKs especially. But look at this, Holzer. He's in a dangerous spot. If Bondik spots his head, luckily that's not the case, and he can count his lucky stars. Back to a 4-on-5. And Nordavind looks like they're ready for an A push. But Holzer, he's the crucial man here, and he's still going to find his kill. There's a Molotov, a nade, and that damage is crucial. The stopping power of it as well, because it delays Winstrike even more. And there shouldn't be much of a chance that Winstrike are given any more. Or at least no more.
That's a great way. As long as you can control that short position, especially when an A take is coming through, it's a vital tunnel of access for that T side. And Nordavind right now, they're doing great to protect it. Radifaction will get caught off, though, and that might just turn things just a little sour for now. The bomb will go down at least, or there is the opportunity to get that planted. Right now, with 20 seconds turning into 40, it gives a lot of time for Nordavind to retake as they get themselves one more frag on the board. Bondik able to reply, but not before Rubino shuts down. With Bondik now left, he'll get finished off by Croman. 5-3 and a great response again out of this Nordavind side. They keep 3 players alive, inclusive of that AWP. But overall, shutting down Winstrike very successfully. Some great utility damage early in the round. A great play to be able to make sure that Winstrike are already damaged as they enter the bomb site. So they're doing things right up to now, and especially with forcing Winstrike down onto the sort of eco with pistols. A little bit of a semi-buy as we see some utility and Kevlar bought. But overall, yeah, we should see this game either going 4-5 or 5-5 as we tie things up. And Nordavind looking confident as ever so far, as Holzak able to find the initial kill. And this is the sort of similar play we saw against Windigo. They were not giving up scenarios too easily. Windigo had to battle for that victory on Overpass. Yes, in their own right, they did screw up a couple of rounds with that force buy that they kept taking, but overall, Nordavind made it a very, very hard job. Maybe were influenced or helped out by the factor of having, you know, 6 rounds gifted to them by the force buys. But overall, yeah, they're coming into this fighting and as strong as ever to be able to try and take down Winstrike. And overall, Winstrike for me are a weaker, not weaker opponent, but lesser opponent than Windigo themselves on current form.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Winstrike, if they go up against Windigo in a best of 3, I think they lose 2-0. That's as simple as that. Windigo just have such a perfect team play, so much better of a team play than anything else. It's unparalleled to that of Winstrike. But look at this. It's going to be a bit of an A split, unfortunately, almost a push. Unfortunately, not really going to get very far. A few nice smokes being thrown, but again, the distance they're going to have to travel to site is far too much, and Nordavind is far too prepared for anything like that to, you know, perhaps catch them with their pants down. The full buy, though, is here. World Edit, here comes the AWP as well. We have only the Kevlar on him, so that's obviously a lot better than none. But again, no utility, no nothing of the like. This will diminish the capabilities Winstrike have and, you know, what they can actually do. By the looks of it, they might actually want to split B. Oh, I like this. They're going to be pushing B fast. Oh, this is a change of pace. This might actually surprise Nordavind big time. Kroman, though, realizing it as far as I can tell. And they should be ready, but World Edit catches off Densky. Holzerk denies the first, but Kroman waiting on default. He gets one, he gets two. What? Kroman, how do you get away with 2 kills? That's unacceptable. That's ruthless. That's not how it's supposed to go down. Bondik and World Edit left. It's still going to be a 3-on-2. Rabino, Redifaction, and Holzerk. And I think they've got a good eye on where the enemies can come from, and more so where they can be pushed from. Goodbye, Bondik. And World Edit, I think this is too tall of a task for him, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, even in a 1v3 where with an AWP you can isolate these kills, like you say, I think it's just going to be too much. As soon as Holzerk readjusts, there might actually be a kill caught off, and yeah, he will at least pick up one. Has to fight back very, very confidently, though, and with Redifaction already aggressive. Yeah. Able to shut down 5-5, and like you said, we're now seeing that game tied up, which really opens it up for the CT side to be able to take that kind of victory lead. And yeah, Kroman, he should never get that second kill there, especially with how much time it took him to adjust. He had to, like, literally swoop his mouse across his mouse pad like 180 to be able to take down that second man, and within that time, he should have been dead already, but yeah, Winstrike giving up some very, very dangerous scenarios. We're now going to see, again, another sort of semi-pistol buy on this T side, which will present a huge opportunity to Nordavind to be able to come back into this game, to be able to tie it up and take the lead here on that CT side. And with Dust 2 being a map that, again, can open up for both a CT and a T side success, it's all about who gains that momentum, who's able to deny their opponents the chance to be able to either have scrappy rounds where we're seeing rounds go back and forward, or just gain rounds in general. Like Winstrike on a T side have enough rounds right now, but realistically, with this kind of level on Dust 2, you want to be going into that second half with like a 9-6, 8-7 type result, because it's a map again that can just fall out of your hands as quickly as a couple of rounds, and you need to keep it competitive going into not only a half change where you'll reset back down to minimal, but just as a mentality thing as well, you have to keep within close ranges and even try and, if possible, go to that final stretch of the map being either tied up or 1 or 2 rounds behind, or else you're going to really feel the wrath of how momentum can work on Dust 2.
Oh yes, it can absolutely destroy Winstrike. One thing that I guess, again, we should mention is the fact that, you know, Nordavind, they picked Overpass against Windigo for a reason, and they picked it because, or more so, they allowed it to be in the veto because they practiced it. By the looks of it, you know, how well they played on that map against them, they certainly prepared for it. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if they practiced Dust 2 as well. We don't have any statistics for Nordavind, at least since I guess you could say the inception of Redifaction, as well as the fact that they haven't played any official matches besides the 2 ESCA you know, qualifiers or whatever they were, as well as the Loot.bet Season 2 matches. Not much else than that, so there's nothing to go on, there's no demos to review, no games to check, no information to get, and this is perhaps where Winstrike could be caught off guard. You know, they pick Dust 2 immediately, and they're like, oh, this is our match, you know, it's an easy round or easy game for us, at least one map. And in the end, they can get burned because if Nordavind prepared well enough, if they took anything away from the fact, or more so from the game against Wendigo, I would expect them to play a lot better this time. Their team play certainly has improved already, showing that they're capable of tying it back to a 5-on-5 is giving them a good chance of victory already. Although Redifaction alone on Site A will fall back immediately after the flash, doesn't want to linger, doesn't want to die, and that's the correct call. Winstrike have only pistols and Kevlar, so they shouldn't be able to get too much done. And against a double up, I think we should mention with Rubino on the secondary, this is as good as it gets for Nordavind, and, well, 6-5 shouldn't be escaping their grasp any longer.
Yeah, it really shouldn't, and especially with Winstrike on pistols, this is the opportunity now for Nordavind to be able to get back into that game and take the lead. So, yeah, this is presenting itself to be quite good so far for Nordavind, and like you said, there's so much unexpectancy from this side that you really have no idea what they bring to the server, and with the team sort of behind the scenes forming, I'd say like around 2 months ago, the team began to
actually
to form
take
together
form.
with
Yeah.
with Rubino sort of coming back to his native scene, with Croman now hot off the press of his
Ready faction.
and yeah, like both players warmed up and ready. This side, ooh, a little bit unfortunate there for booming to the pistol.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this side being able to dedicate a lot of time to being in the prac servers rather than, you know, diving into officials straight away, I think it sets them up for a very, very good start in this kind of level, for the fact that it's going to take at least 2 or 3 matches where you play this side to realize what they actually bring and what they actually do. But again, they have to keep on top of that, and I think they have to be able to keep adjusting and adapting, because this level of Counter-Strike is probably one of the quickest to be able to filter in new things from the top team, from the top tier.
Yeah.
And Nordavind, if they want to stay at this kind of level and play constantly against teams like Windigo, Winstrike, Ago, those teams like that, they have to be able to prove that they can not only battle in matches of themselves, but keep up with the way that the scene is working. And already, it's working out for them. Hall's out, beautiful first pick onto Quick, as we do see this CT side opening up a 5 versus 4, and Nordavind, they're doing great to get those early entries in these rounds. We've seen a lot of 5-on-4s to begin most of. Oh, beautiful nade. How do you avoid a nade like that?
Yeah,
well, then he saw it land and he was like, oh, well, nothing I can really do.
Yeah, he literally saw it in his scope. It's like he's watching the nade in the scope. It's like, oh, well, there's the headshot from the nade. That's a glorious throw in itself. How do you succeed in throwing the nade so well like that it falls exactly on the corner of Xbox? But oh my god, Holzerk with a double, and Radifaction holding the corner. He does get one more and does get traded back in the end, but it's a 3-on-1 now Norbert has to deal with. 43 seconds remaining. Croman coming up the slope, and well, Rubino is too fast for either of those players. And 7-5, a very distinct advantage starting to form. And Winstrike, well, I guess I'm not too surprised they're losing, because in essence, Winstrike haven't really shown us anything. The fact that they were the the finalist in season 1 against Avantgarde, you know, doesn't really bode, or more so doesn't give them too much of a special anything. They underperformed throughout the entirety of this series, or more so to the entirety of this second season. And, you know, again, if they were to lose here this first map, at least I wouldn't be surprised at all. But World Edit finds the entry, at least this time, changing the pace once more, going through short, and they might actually succeed in perhaps picking up one more round. And Castiscus goes live, I guess, in a way, as Norbert is caught on long. He's still kind of swinging around, but Radifaction will be faster than him, able to catch him off finally. And, ooh, this is an important battle. If Bondik dies, then short is open, but no, Bondik gets one. Oh, whoa, Rubino. Double up works out somehow, and it's back to 3-on-2.
Very fast adjustment there, and well did it. He'll be able to snipe away one more,
no,
snag it.
Oh, damn. That smoke, though.
Oh, Quick. Able to get himself one and clean it up. 7-6. Nordavind giving up a little bit of a more rougher retake there to Winstrike, allowing them a chance to close the round out, and they definitely will snatch at those. And as they are now a round away from tying things up again here, we are going to see a very, very battled, close first half, and I think either way, a 9-6 or 8-7, however it does end, it does actually set up Winstrike for a lot of success, because yes, this T side can get score lines like an 11-4, like a 12-3, a very, very dominant first half. It does look better on that C. Oh, so much nade damage.
Yeah.
It does look better on the CT side to be able to clean rounds up in a quicker state than what your opponents can. And right now, with Winstrike switching over relatively soon, Nordavind will have to be on their toes for that change. Croman already being heavily tagged. Holzerk again tempting fate toward this A-long position. A lot of damage being sort of exchanged back and forward. I don't even think players have spotted each other yet. We've had like 200 damage done across the server with just nades.
Yep, like nobody's even seen each other. Not more than a few bullets have been shot, but more so into the empty space of anything than anything else. And Holzerk, he's going to push short. They want to take control of short. I'm fairly certain they want to push it. They've let go of long, so they certainly need to take control of short. This is where Nordavind would make a crucial mistake if they do not take mid control alongside short, because then they would have no information. They would have to fight their way back on towards A site. But now they should be realizing, okay, we hear players on long. We can probably realize, or more so deduce, the fact that now they've taken long A, they're going to be pushing on towards site, whilst we just want to make sure we hold everything else and we can retake easily. They've already proved us that they can retake A. There's no need to defend it and die, or more so, yeah, I guess die trying. They can force Winstrike into a position where Nordavind are just far superior. And look at this, both players are going to be pushing deep from short. They're going to be looking for the cross, and this time, perhaps Nordavind realizing they've got enough time, they can delay the plant, and with 12 seconds left, this is a crucial mistake, and there's not even enough time to plant. What the hell is Winstrike thinking? There's not enough time to plant, Winstrike! What are you doing? This is seriously bad, Winstrike. How can you lose a round like this? It was a 5-on-5. And you had 25 or 30 seconds left, and there were still only 5 players sticking, not crossing long. Like, guys, come on, you can do better than that. That is certainly quite a deep blow, or more so, quite a deep fall from being twice on a major, once even being legends. I think that in itself is something that should never be, in the end, then, you know, you should never, in the end up losing rounds like this. I don't know. That's how I see it, I guess. But in a way, it is going to be Winstrike rebuying, reinvesting, but this is pretty horrible. 15th round is here, and Nordavind looking like they might just take 9-6 on the first.
Yeah, they really could, and this would be a beautiful way to end that first half after losing 5-0. Being able to grind this many rounds back. Even an 8-7 is respectable at this point, but yeah, if they take a 9-6, that's going to be great damage done to Winstrike before that half change. Croman able to catch off World Edit. The trade back by Bondit. Yeah, that's making sure that they're always doubled up. Holzer kill takedown quick in the process as well. And we're now into a 3 versus 3. Bondit incredibly low, but he's able to dip and dive to be able to close down at least Croman on short. Holzer able to instantly reply, and Norbert, he's testing fate here as Tensky making his way through all that lower mid door with Norbert to wrap his way around toward A long. With Bondit being this low, if he gets a push right now, and with Holzer taking down Norbert, that is the round, 9-6. And honestly, I'm impressed with how Nordavind have been playing in this first half. To be having a 5-0 deficit and then making it 9-6, what a way to reply on a CT side.
It's beautiful. It is something that, you know, you wanted to see, you would expect, I guess you could say, from Nordavind, given they formed the team just recently, given they've got new vigor, new reinvigorated lines, I guess, with Red Faction joining them. And you know, if you look at the names themselves, Tensky, Red Faction, Croman, Rubino, all names that resonate deeply within the professional scene and have been resonating for a long time. Obviously, on the other side, you know, Winstrike still, they're pretty much a team you would never expect to get a 5-0 lead and then just lose it all with a 9-6. But we'll see the second pistol come up in a matter of moments, gentlemen. We'll be right back to see how Winstrike do on their CT side.
Loot.bet, made for live betting.
And of course, our second half is here. It is going to be the pistol, and now Nordavind take the aggressor's position to try and take themselves up to 10, 11, 12, and potentially take the first map. But I think we should all mention, or more so we should kind of dwell on the fact that Winstrike, they are underperforming for the most part of their tournaments that we're watching them. You know, that's something that's not the major, something that's not really big. They always underperform. You know, they never really show you what they know or what they're capable of, because somehow they just lose themselves in the confusion, in the chaos, in the overarching troubles that they have. But look at this A push from Nordavind is so successful. They get onto site without losing anybody. Tensky even finds a kill, maybe a second. Yes, what? Norbert and World Edit, they get eliminated, and goodbye Boomage. What is going on? Nordavind, this is 10 rounds on the board. Winstrike, they are facing complete destruction on their CT pistol. This is something that should never have happened, but Quick comes across a kill at least. Back to a 3-on-1. He has no kit though, and time is running away, and of course in the end it does not help him anyway. Again, just to mention Winstrike, it feels like, you know, they should take a bit of a different look on things, or at least maybe, you know, go back to drawing board, stop playing tournaments for a moment or for a month or two, really prepare yourself and change the way you play. Because this is not working out.
I know, like, the thing is as well, coming at the end of season 1, obviously they're not going to be happy with, you know, finishing as a second place. And yes, you want to be able to develop your roster, to be able to maybe make changes that bolster the side up. Despite Bondnik being incredibly seasoned, and despite him having, you know, experience in Europe with Flipside, with having CIS experience now with Winstrike, Chinese with Tai Lu and Hellraisers, I think previously as well. For me, whilst he's a decent fragger, I think the team had way more cohesion with Waylander in the side, and I don't typically realize or can spot what Waylander did wrong to get himself removed from the side. Like, he had one of the better performances that I've seen from him in a very long time in season 1, which, yeah, I don't particularly see the reason for him to be removed from the side. It's not like he's left the roster and, you know, already been signed
to a different one,
to a different team. There was no, you know, path for him to really say, okay, guys, our team is good, but I have this offer. I'm going to take this offer and pursue my career. He's not joined another side. So particularly, I'm not too sure why we realistically saw him
only for the one season.
Removed from the side. And obviously they had the major spell, whatever. But yeah, for me, there's just, it's lacking something on this Winstrike side that we didn't lack in season 1. And I think that's the clear dip in their performance. We've seen a massive fall from them, being 0-2 right now, and potentially on that elimination, if they lose this, that's a complete turnaround from being in the grand final of season 1.
Oh, yes, it is. I would also mention that it's not only a 0-2 that they are currently in the series, or more so in the tournament itself. Every best of 3, they lost 0 and 2, I believe, as well. Actually, no, they won one map against Sharks, but they lost 16 and 0 against alternate attacks on Overpass.
Yeah,
that's a result you will never forget. And even they lost against Sharks, who arguably shouldn't be winning any matches, since they, you know, they've came to Europe to practice, to prepare, and, you know, they're the ones that are going to be doing everything they can to just get the best out of each and every map they play. That means not just, you know, winning, but also losing and learning on top of that. But as you can see right now, Winstrike, I guess their or our disbelief in them is kind of, you know, justified, because simply put, they're not putting anything on the table where we would say, oh, this is, you know, this is perfect, this is excellent, and oh my god, Rubino. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, Winstrike, it feels like they've lost their soul, or more so their character. I don't know how to put it elsewhere, but simply put, they feel like a mix, but they are a team that's been together now for, well, the majority, or more so the core roster.
9 months.
Yeah, Boomich and Quick have been together for what? It's been almost 2 years, while Norbert joined them, about half a year ago with World Edit as well, and Bondik just recently. So this is not a new roster. This is not Nordavind kind of new roster where they literally started playing at the end of 2018, at the start of, you know, January, February, whatever you want to call it. This is not acceptable for a team of this caliber, for the names of this caliber, and for a team that was on a major. Because let's strike realism, or more so reality, for a second here. Every team that has been on the major has either been able to keep themselves on the major circuit, or generally speaking, very, very much competitive on the top tier scene, or they either disbanded their entire roster and only the organization remains, like Virtus Pro, for example, although I think they are the one team that everybody expects to lose anytime. But everybody else, you know, it's like, no, man, what is going on? In any case, you know, let's forget about that. We won't dwell on the past too much, but it doesn't matter. 12-6. And this should be 13-6 pretty soon, I guess. This full buy, or more so this eco buy from Winstrike is not going to bring them too much of anything. They've got an M4 on Quick, an AK on World Edit. Certainly a little bit of damage can be dealt, but I don't expect them to do much of it.
Okay. And with the way that right now Nordavind, they're asserting themselves, it's so good from them. They're making sure that they get the job done.
Yeah.
And do it cleanly. 4 players kept alive in a round where, yes, Winstrike had very little, but we've seen rounds like that in the past where they've had you know, a minimalistic buy round and came out with an entire victory in itself. And the thing is, as well, was just checking these statistics. Currently, even though Winstrike have had less games, of course, and have had, obviously, with the previous format being round robin and a lot more amount of games, even in this one, Waylander right now, if we're looking at Season 1 compared to Season 2 stats, is ranked higher than Bondic over the entire season. But, of course, there are way more times for him to get good games. But, yeah, currently Bondic sat on a 0.85 rating. No one from Winstrike actually in the top, I'd say, 8 right now with how Season 2 is going, but you wouldn't expect them to be with the current results. Obviously, with losing 2 games and having the majority of those being dominant victories or 2-0s in themselves. Yeah, you wouldn't expect them, but interestingly, Nork, top of the stats right now, just to throw that in there, which obviously you'd expect. But yeah, in this round, yeah, I mean, he's on currently 1.48 across 6 maps, so
that's as good as
very
it
dominant
gets.
from him. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's something that we were seeing out of Norbert last season.
Yeah.
And
He
had like incredible stats from those. Yes, they weren't in the top. Yes, they sort of constantly the top ratings, but we saw them in the last season. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure Boomich ended in the top 8 for the stats of last season. Unexpectedly, with them being in the semi-final, yes, they probably should. Yeah, he was
in the grand final.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was 6th, a 1.17 rating across 33 maps. So that's a fall down already. So
yep. And not just that, speaking of falling down, I think we should care to mention the fact that Winstrike, they got an entry on this round, and they're currently they were at 4-on-1, with Quick at least getting 1 back, but they had an entry, and they had the bomb in their hands. Sure, they couldn't control it, but they could have at least, you know, played it a little bit better, instead of pushing into Nordavind, just getting caught everywhere off guard. And Winstrike, I feel like this is map 1 done. I really am. I don't see them winning this anymore. I'm sure they've got maximum loss bonus. Sure, they have a few pistols and Kevlars here and there, but yeah, this is as bad as it gets. Although Boomich gets 1, nicely done. Wait, it's a double for Quick. How the hell does that happen? Very well done, very well played. Holzer gets the refrag, still getting Gratifaction, gonna be caught by Norbert. Leaving Holzer in a 1-on-3. This clutch round could change everything for Winstrike. If they can win this, if they can put themselves back on the table, surely they do win. They lose 1 more, but they make it that much sweeter. Although, as I've said, this is a long ways to go before they can call it a tie or a victory themselves. This is their own map pick, and they are still down quite far. 7 rounds just to tie it up, and 9 to win it all. And I think it's safe to say if they want to win this map, they're gonna have to win it all. Like 9 rounds in a row, end of story. That's it.
And that's the thing, it's such a long road back right now that it makes it, whilst possible, whilst that Nordavind do not yet have either a 15th or 16th round, the likelihood of this succeeding, going in their favor, is very, very small, especially being on that CT side where even if the Ts find themselves 3 kills, 4 kills in a round, you're still going to be economically controlled by the Ts with the loss bonus gaining for them, even if you win those rounds. And right now, with Nordavind being on that full buy with plenty of cash in the reserve, that's the scary point for Winstrike. Yes, they've got a first on the board. They have to get consistent now, though, because Nordavind, whilst they have this buy on the board, they can put at least 1 more going into the next round. So even if Winstrike win this round and keep it, I'd say, 3-4 players alive, they still have to go through with that next round and do exactly the same to make sure that they're safe. And
and then 7 more.
Dangerous in itself. Yeah, exactly. Then they've got to do that thing over and over again.
Yeah, it's quite concerning, really. Obviously possible, but I gotta give it to Nordavind. Their gameplay has changed quite a little bit, remarkably so, from the last time we watched them. They're playing a lot more stable. They're playing a lot more composed. We can see that their decisions are no longer made on the spot entirely, and they're a little bit rushing, or more so rush. They don't rush too much into their positions. They more so just make a bit of a calculated, decision. Okay, we got the entry there. Let's make a bit of a different play. Quick finds 2 though, holds the line. Can't hold it against Rubino. But wait, what? What? But no, what are you doing? Nordavind! What the hell? All three go to doors, and that's a double. Beautiful round by World Edit. He gets a double because Rubino runs towards top smoke, and he knows the smoke in CT is watchable. He knows they can watch through that angle. And everybody knows that Nordavind are 3-on-3, and they just literally give themselves up to Winstrike. That was a bit of a unexpected outcome, but I guess it goes like that. 14-8. Another buy, as we said, is here, and Nordavind, if they lose this, they still have a potential buy, especially if they plant. But as I was just praising them for the great decision making and for the great game they have. You know, that they actually make a very good overall play. They make a good show, and they give us a good performance, and they are improving by every round, it seems. They give us something different and something better. And this just might be, you know, since they are a new team, we haven't seen much of them and we're not used to them too much, but certainly the performance is increasing by each and every passing game we see in any case. 5-on-5, and it looks like a bit of an A split though. Nordavind making noise towards short, and well, goodbye Redifaction. Not sure why he's solo on B though. That one-on-one loss is horrible. You should never be in a fight where you can't be refragged. And if you do go for that fight, usually that means you want to take the site afterwards instead of, you know, just kind of dying needlessly. So that's a bit unfortunate, but it's a 5-on-4, and Winstrike seemingly prepared for this A execute.
Yeah, they do have quite the heavy presence there, and with Norbert able to at least do molly damage, he will trade the frag back that he lost from the afterlife there. 14. Might just be where Nordavind's stay for now if they find it difficult to get on this A site with the way that Winstrike are set up. They have a two kind of setup. 25 seconds on the clock. And, able to break into CT. Tensky, that's perfect. But Bondik, it might just be even better. Maybe not, though, as Tensky able to trade back. Has to claim the bomb, though, will he? Oh, he did spot Boomich.
Yeah, he did.
Has to be very, very careful, though, with time ticking. Has to either find both of the kills or finish the round off, and quick, he'll be able to exactly do that. 14-9, and Winstrike, they do keep themselves alive for that little bit longer. The money bonus begins to build on that T side, but realistically, they should be going into a purchase this round, even with Holzerk being kind of minimalistic. Although pistols, yeah, it looks like they're going to purchase pistols, so they're playing for the team game rather than the lesser buy. Yeah, exactly. Especially with him being your AWP player. If you can get him onto that AWP in the next round, then that's going to be a better output.
Absolutely. Like, the thing is, if he can guarantee at least one kill, that's already enough from him, right? He's the opper. And if he gets one, and then, you know, you have one or two players on the other side, or in a similar position, you know, grabbing perhaps another refrag, or, you know, kill overall, that's more than enough, because the snowball can start rolling. But if he's denied a weapon, if he's having to fight with a pistol against rifles, he's not going to do much, and, you know, he never should be doing much in any case with a pistol itself. Although Redifaction finds one, again, 2 kills is actually really good for Nordavind, because this diminishes... Okay, Redifaction! Okay, 3 kills. This is amazing for Nordavind, actually. Not only do they destroy the entire bank of Winstrike, but even if Winstrike wins, which still should be happening, they are going to be barely having enough money to really invest into the next. Both Bondik and Boomich will have to drop. And, well, World Edit is going to have enough for a rifle as well. I presume Bondik probably drops an AWP to World Edit, and World Edit drops the rifle to Norbert, which would make the most sense. Because I don't see World Edit without an op, really. Especially on Dust, right? Yeah. You're on CT Dust. Just give him the op, let him play his own game, let him on mid, let him on B, let him on A, whatever he wants to do. You know, you have to give him that freedom. You have to unleash the beast. You can't restrict him now. You can't give him that chain where he's unable to move anywhere, or more so, unable to do anything. And I think that this proves my point. We will see an op from Bondik. We should be seeing it in a moment. Yes, please. Please throw the op. No, World Edit buys utility instead of a rifle. There's the op. Okay, there we go. Yeah, thank God. Surprised that he doesn't drop a second. Oh yeah, there's enough money to drop everywhere. No, wait, Norbert, what? Norbert has a P250, no! See, that's what I'm talking about. World Edit should have dropped the rifle. Instead, he drops a P250. Okay, I guess that's one way to go about it. Norbert comes out, gets nothing. World Edit refrag, still a 2-on-2 trade. This is good enough for Nordavind. And it's still a 3-on-3 where Winstrike are in deep trouble.
Yeah, with Nordavind going to back out toward a long, the AWP lands a tag, though. That could be some limiting damage. It is only Holzerk, though, so he has an AWP himself. Not particularly too worried about his HP, but
yeah,
even so, in a 3 versus 3, we'll send Croman up toward that T-spawn. The bomb has to be claimed if they want to head toward the A site, and with how Winstrike have backed off of this A bomb site, it should be A that they take this time. With the utility they've got, they do have that single smoke to be able to assist across. They would have liked to, but one can suffice if you get it dropped into lower CT. But even so, with 55 seconds on the clock, well, that it will have the far superior angle, and with Boomich already on the flank, this could be so perfect for this CT side right now.
He's watching it. If he kills the first man, that's enough.
Oh,
no!
What?
Oh no! Holzerk, he makes a crucial mistake, and it's enough. Boomich finds both kills. Croman shouldn't be standing any longer. Good pop flash. He gets one, but it's not enough. That was all on Holzerk, actually. Big mistake. Big mistake. He knows he's low HP, or more so. He obviously knows that. He spots the first player jumping to the right. Instead of shooting and falling back and not widening the gap towards the left, he actually just doesn't shoot, tries to readjust to the left and gets caught because, well, in that angle, you're still visible to the enemy, and it's a free kill to the guy with the AUG or the M4 as you're low. So that's a bit weird. 14-11, Winstrike make it back to 3 rounds difference. This certainly changes things quite differently, or more so changes the perspective we see them in quite differently, because now finally Winstrike are proving that they are, you know, they're not exactly ready to be eliminated just yet, or more so they deserve to not be eliminated just yet. In any case, it will be another bye with Nordavind, no AWP this time for Holzerk, and a bit of a slowdown by the looks of it.
And I'm glad they do slow down. It means that Winstrike will have to either adjust to that, or they send men in, try and look for info, and it works out better for Nordavind. So right now they're going to change the way that they're asserting their T side. A lot of heavy A long presence from this Winstrike squad. They will now assert towards A, but realistically, if Nordavind do hit toward this A site, which they have been doing a lot, we've rarely seen them head towards B in this T side. And with Bondik primed and ready for this, he should be at least coming away with the first kill. There is quite the limit on utility for a couple of these CT players, but when you're a defensive side, getting rushed, you don't really need too much of it. 55 seconds now, though, and with Nordavind, maybe setting themselves up toward an A fake. Kind of like this kind of setup, but you have to get into CT quickly, and that's what they're able to do. Rubino, that's a beautiful play from him so far. 40 seconds left, and that asserts a lot of mid-control. You can now send 3 players toward the split, and this might just really work out, especially considering that Boomich, he'll be tucked into the corner. Will they check him? Oh my god, they will finally. I thought he was going to come away with 1 or 2 free kills there. Tenski, he shuts down 1 more as well. Oh, Rubino, he should have been the man sort of solidifying that CT setup, but it seems like as that bomb goes down, Winstrike might just be pulling away for a save, potentially, although we do see Norbert coming in from the flank. If they find 1 kill in the next 5 seconds, then potentially they can go for this. They don't have a lot of utility. A single Molotov, which I assume might just get thrown maybe to a back plat if Norbert comes through tunnels, but apart from that...
It's all about the duel with Norbert and the guy on Plateau, which is Holzerk, and he's already dead by that point. The thing is, as you said yourself, not much utility, and a 3-on-3 B retake so difficult to pull off that your only hope really is that if the guy in tunnels is able to distract the people on site towards him and is able to pull the attention towards him while also getting a kill, if at all possible, on the guy on Plateau, then the retake becomes possible and actually retakeable. But in other words, what that means is you rely on a lot of ifs and a lot of buts and a lot of ifs that, then that, you know, and it's never going to work, or at least in most parts, you know, you're probably going to be denied. And as you said, a save comes through. They save 2 rifles, an AWP and an AUG. This is not looking too sweet. 15-11, Bondik opens up first. Rubino will fall, so this is a good starting point as well. That it will be caught by Croman. I wish I would have seen that headshot. He's running out of short, just aiming like a madman, shooting down everybody like a madman. 4-on-4 A retake is doable for Winstrike, but they have no longer any room for mistakes or anything else in Holzerk.
Oh,
yeah, that's...
Surely that's the game.
Yeah, that should be it. Oh, ouch. Goodbye, Holzerk triple, and Bondik, he's been spotted, and he's been killed. GG, 16-11.
What a way to end the game as well from Nordavind. It looked a little shaky, but those final 2 rounds probably the best 2 rounds that we saw out of that Nordavind side themselves. And look at Boomich, the man that is touted as the the big fragger, the man who's putting kills on the board all the time. Yeah, exactly. Coming out with 8 kills to finish. That's definitely not a way to be ending a map that you've selected as well. Picking Dust 2.
That's going to be best on.
One. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the best maps that we see out of Winstrike. I think the only map that we can really say is better than Dust 2 is either Mirage or Train. And both of those are fairly shaky in themselves. And with Nordavind now going on to Mirage, which again is a map that Winstrike can thoroughly play, we thought Dust 2 was a map that they could play as well. And Nordavind were able to dismantle that kind of setup. So that's going to make Mirage incredibly interesting.
I think we shouldn't disregard the fact that it was was it Mirage that they played against Nordavind played against Windigo, or was it Argo that they played Mirage on?
It was Windigo.
Yeah, it was Windigo. Yeah, so Windigo did kind of destroy them on Mirage quite a little bit, especially in the first half. But again, I think Nordavind, they're learning a lot from their losses, and they certainly are looking at demos because the improvement of their team play wouldn't have come otherwise so quickly and so effectively. Again, this could have just been the fact that Winstrike is playing so badly and Nordavind just having a bit of an easy run over. But the CT side of Winstrike proves to everybody that they're not exactly as bad as we might imagine, or as much as they've shown us how poorly they can perform. Again, Mirage will be deciding though whether or not Winstrike are the first team to be eliminated from the Loot.bet CS League Season 2, or will it be Nordavind? In any case, we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes time. By that moment, we are getting ready for our second map. We'll be right back.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
tragedy when we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history. Yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. For all the pain.
I know my limits. You can break me down, but I don't think they're the same.
To get underway, and if it's going to be anything like map number 1, we're in for a spectacle. Nordavind versus Winstrike about to go live here on Mirage. And again, it's a map that Winstrike have bolded their results on, have been able to prove that they can win, but it's a map that Nordavind apparently feel comfortable enough to pick, despite being dismantled by Windigo in our previous best of 3, 16-8. That was quite the heavy loss to take, but obviously, again, like you said, they're a side that is very, very comfortable to learning and being able to review those VODs and make sure that the errors are fixed, what they've been making, and apparently confident enough to pick Mirage. So I think, again, we're in for an interesting game, especially when there are exploitable weaknesses on that side of Winstrike that we saw in game 1.
And I wouldn't just say exploitable, but quite glaring and visible. It's quite scary to consider how quickly Winstrike found themselves in a position where they could have lost 16-6, 16 or 15-7, 16-7, something of the like. Luckily, they were able to at least give us a little bit of a show before they eventually fell. But overall, it was quite a blow, quite a hit, and in general, I don't know. It's overall, or has been overall, quite disappointment. Their map pick going badly, very, and yeah, I hope that they can show something different here. As you said already, last time they played for Nordavind, at least, they took a big L, a big L to the face from Windigo. Whilst for Winstrike themselves, Mirage, it's their old companion, I guess you could say. They've played it so many times at this point that, you would be surprised that they weren't able to win at least one of those times. But overall, their performance has been relatively mixed, I guess. It might be their, like, 4th or 3rd best map for Winstrike overall. Although I would argue that even if they put up a good fight, I don't think they have the stamina to actually win the entire game. Also, I would like to mention that they lost against Forze on Mirage at 16-7. So yeah, there's that.
And that's the thing, like, Nordavind being able to to sort of like to put results on Mirage like that with like a 16-7, 16-8, and then still feel comfortable to pick the map. You've got to realize that potentially they've been in the server practicing this and already to kickstart the pistol. It's Chroman and Radefaction both entering frags, being able to fight. Oh, Chroman, that was through the smoke there. That was able to close down a second or third player in the round. What a beautiful pistol. They lose no members whatsoever. They don't even plant the bomb. They just get all the frags done. Yeah. And what a beautiful way. That's a tap from Chroman there to delete Bondic. And what a beautiful pistol from Nordavind.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a clean pistol as well. They put themselves up to 1, and they will force Winstrike into a force buy once more, as they did on Dust. It is the same again, and I am not liking the way it's looking like. I really am not liking the way it's performing, or more so, it's been up to this point. Winstrike, this force buy is not going to get them very far, especially if they're not going to be able to secure at least 2 kills early on. And Norbert, he's alone on B, or more so precisely on short, and unless he can get a kill immediately, okay, he gets 1. The second going to be denied though, and there it is. 4-4 retake on B shouldn't be possible for Winstrike.
And definitely shouldn't. I think with the weapons that they have at this point, it should be a simple cleanup. Bondic even gets one more out of the back pillar position there, but with Rubino closing down Boomich and the final man of Quick left into a 1 versus 3, already being spotted, and it should be a relatively simple way for Nordavind to close out this round. So with Quick, already going for the save. 2-0, Nordavind, good start.
Is a good start, but I think we have to reiterate the fact that this is, this is still pretty much Nordavind starting off again the same way they did on Mirage, or excuse me, on Dust. That they do on Mirage. They find themselves the first 3, potentially the first gun round, which would effectively destroy any sort of chance that Winstrike might have had of really contending for the early few rounds here and there. And Norbert might actually get a kill. No, Chroman is at 7, and he's going to be Norbert turns around at the most unopportune of times. Chroman turns around for the 180. That was a 6 shot.
And again, with Nordavind not particularly being able to be challenged right now. Yes, they find, again, another kill here, but even so, with Quick, actually able to put one more on the board. Holzak will eventually take him down, though, but realistically, in a 1 versus 3, Boomich shouldn't be coming out with too much here, and Holzak, there he is, to close out the round. 3-0, and Nordavind with a very, very good start so far. And right now, Winstrike, as they go into their first gun round, it's going to be Winstrike that they have to be able to put a performance in for this one, or else Nordavind will be taking, again, a very, very clear victory in this first half, at least going for 5, maybe even 6 rounds up. And with a T side, that should not be a result that the CTs will be too happy with. Right now, it'll be a fast rush toward the B bomb site. Nordavind already making their way out toward the lower position of that CT, or of the B bomb site. Norbert able to trade back 1, though, and with great damage done, it seems like potentially we might just see success, but not before Chroman able to deny 1 more. Bondic lingering, though, and he drops the bomb down as well into a 3 versus 2. Radefaction lingering on the back of the site. The saving grace is that he is still at 100 points of health, and Radefaction, as he makes it into a 1 versus 1, Boomich, he's able to come away with at least a round, and he does manage to close it down. 3 kills for him, 3 vital kills, as Radefaction was so pressed for victory there, but 3-1, and Winstrike, they win the vital gun round.
Yeah, they do. They at least pick up 1. They put themselves on the table, and they can actually start fighting it back. And potentially, sooner rather than later. If it is going to be like it was on I guess you could say, on Dust, then perhaps they can actually tie it finally. Even though they were tied previously, again, Nordavind, they have a full buy. They've got 5 AKs. Dealing with the op of World Edit might be a bit of a problem, but just as I say that, World Edit is just deleted immediately, and it's going to be back to a 5-on-4. Bondic waiting in Whorehouse. If he gets himself oh no! Oh, kiss and goodbye. That is just unfortunate.
And especially with Winstrike having to put rounds on the board to be able to keep consistent, they're just not available to do so. With Boomich able to maybe save the round itself, to be able to find one frag, potentially push for more in a 4-on-2, that just shouldn't be something that's happening for this Nordavind side, and we should be seeing a 4-1, but with the money that Winstrike have now lost from this round, yes, they win, but they get reset almost straight away. Boomich is able to come through toward jungle, and a lot of information gathered on the whereabouts of this T side, to the point where Boomich, he might just be able to sneak through the smoke. And if he does, oh, that could be perfect. He denies the first. But as that plant is now taken away, 30 seconds on the clock, and with Horzek to finish, a nice little 4-1.
Yes, it is. A 4-1 and a crucial error coming out from, of course, Winstrike in this case, that they lose a round that was so important. It was so I mean, I guess you could say so vital for the survival of the entirety, or I guess you could say of the entire round for them overall. They really, or more so the entire first half for overall. It just really kills their momentum as well. Their economy takes a big blow. They're really not able to reinvest into this round, at least not effectively. If they do, they're going to be limited to a few of those rifles, perhaps an SMG here and there, and maybe a scout. And as we can see, they will pick up a CZ, make it triple, and 2 deagles. Overall, Winstrike looking like they realize, sure, you know, we've got a lack of economy. We will not force up. We won't throw too many rounds to you, or more so give you too many free rounds. Bondik might get a kill. No, Kroman denies both players. Stensky gets the third, and this buy is not going to bring them any joy nor any success. It's back to a 5-on-2, and Norbert and Quick hope to get perhaps a rifle out of this. Certainly would be the best case scenario for them, but alas, I don't think it's meant to be. Although, Robinho, nice kill. Quick for a secondary. That's actually really nicely done. Although Norbert, again, he is left alone to his own demise. And, ooh, okay. This is actually really dirty. All of a sudden, this becomes very much possible. Norbert, if he finds one more kill, he could actually win this.
And with the rifle that he's picked up, definitely could have had a shot, but I think the lack of HP will actually drive him for a save. But that's unfortunate. With the amount of damage that he's done there, you would have liked to see him go for that retake.
At least attempt it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Even if he dies, he's losing a deagle at most. You have a buy round going into the next anyway. I would have liked to see that round really progress there. But either way, it is great damage done to that T side. Yes, the money will be there in a 5-1 scoreline, but now Winstrike, as they go into that second buy round of the CT side, this is the time that they have to start performing. They cannot allow Nordavind any more free rounds, or else this T side is going to really start to profit from the mistakes of Winstrike. And not the overall mistakes, just the T side are playing drastically better right now. We've seen very little out of this Winstrike side, especially in this entire season 2, that really is boding for a sign of success from this team, considering how well they did on that major circuit, and to be able to, you know, get to the grand final of season 1. This is a huge turnaround, and already so much damage done. Tensky, he drops the first onto Quick, but not before Boomich is tagged down to 20. A fifth of his health remaining, and he's already significantly weak there. Rubino, he spots the tracers. He finds himself a beautiful kill. How is Radifaction able to linger this aggressively? Boosted into window with no tribulation whatsoever, in a 4 versus 2. Nordavind, despite taking losses on both Mirage versus Forza and Windigo, they've been totally prepared for anything that Winstrike have thrown at them this time, and they're going to take a 6-1 for sure. Rubino right now aggressing toward that B apartments. Still, Bondik able to catch him off, though. Maybe a saving grace in the round, despite him being tagged down to 15 points of health. With 45 seconds left, Nordavind, they'll do the smart thing, and they'll group up. This B bomb site should be hit, and already with a flank coming through from Kroman, this could get incredibly dangerous. And there it is, the round secured. And well, that it realistically, he should just go for the save at this point.
Yeah, there's no real choice, and he's even been spotted at this point. 30 seconds to counting down the bomb timer, or more so to ending the round. And of course, he's got now 40 or a little bit less than 30 seconds to survive the hunt. He surely will be hunted, though. He's got a rifle that he's saving and quite a little bit of utility. And as long as Nordavind can keep him out of, you know, surviving the next, or more so putting the rifle into the next, it's all good. Nordavind, as I said, you know, they take him down 6-1, Winstrike, and Eco again. And this is actually far worse than Mirage. First of all, in Mirage, right, they pick up 5 rounds, so they already start off with a bit of an advantage, and they look pretty solid early on. At least, you know, we had hope for them, didn't we, Kieran? But all of a sudden, things change drastically. If nothing else, they are now 5 rounds down on another eco, looking like they're going to be going up to 7, or more so down to 7-1. And oh, what, Bodnik?
Oh,
what was that? I would like to see a replay of that, good sirs. Production, if you can hear me, please give a replay, because that was replay worthy. But again, as I was pointing out, you know, Winstrike, as much as they try, as much as they want to try, overall, it is all going down the drain and very quickly at it.
And the worst part is, this is the game where they had to perform. They had to be able to come into this match and fight for survival. And being dominated this heavily by Nordavind, yes, of course, there is still a chance on this map to come back. But overall, with the way that Nordavind have been playing, it does bode very, very well for them. And even in a 4 versus 5, Radifaction able to trade back too, and I think he spots info from inside of window as well. Ooh, timing, as he does manage to escape there and finally get shut down. Still 3 versus 2, and with a couple of rifles picked up on this Winstrike side, this might actually bode for Nordavind to be a little scarier than expected. An eco round should never go this far in reality, but with them getting an AWP and an AK-47, even with a MAC-10 in there as well, this does make it just that little bit easier to be able to land themselves a retake. But Tensky, 1-for-1 trade. There is no defuse kit, so Croman, his main objective right now is to just run this clock down as much as possible. And with the plant toward default, surely they should never expect that first man, but Bondik, he's able to do it. I think there's enough time for the defuse, and they'll get themselves a second round. A very, very nice retake with those pistols, but I doubt it's a round that Nordavind would let happen again.
That was a bit of a blunder on the side of Nordavind. Too much of a solo engagement on all sides of the map, especially on that 3-on-2. It was Rubino in... Yeah, it was Rubino, right? In CT. He should have been...
Tensky, I think.
Oh, no, yeah, you're correct. It was Tensky. Yeah, my bad. He should have been staying alive a little while longer. Should have, you know, okay, sure, he spots 2, he gets 1. That's obviously okay-ish, but you're leaving your own teammate to die, or at least effectively still be alone in a 1-on-2 afterwards. So it would have been much better to at least try to fall back a little bit, you know, snag a few seconds here and there, try to buy time for yourself and your friend to get into a better afterplant, because honestly, that afterplant was pretty bad coming out from Nordavind, given it was a plant for Palace and they had no CT or Palace control afterwards. But overall, it is going to be another buy from Winstrike, or more so another buy from Nordavind, and already a poor start for Winstrike, as I was about to say. Boomich, he's got 17 HP, and, well, Winstrike, they lose this round, and that's pretty much the first half gone, or at least half of it already. And here we go. It's another A push. Boomich gets 1, blinded out, will fall out, and World Let It gets the refrag. Still a 4-on-3. This is still very much doable. Winstrike, if they get at least 1 more kill, they can potentially put themselves back on the radar. Oh, quick spots Radifaction, as World Let It will snag him away. Still a 4-on-2. And as long as Holzer and Croman are alive, the round remains so. It's going to be a difficult one to keep at it. Nordavind, they've got so much room they have to work with. Yeah, there's no chance. Goodbye, Croman. You maybe get a kill or 2, but not more than that.
And again, it's a good round from Winstrike. It makes sure that they get that job done. They keep 3 players alive, 2 of those being the AWP setup that they're going to have as well. Nordavind this time seem to have finally been broken on the second map. They should be down to pistols for this one, not going for an investment, especially on that T side. You do not want to be risking any sort of economy like this that can bode well in the future. So yeah, they'll go for the pistol buy. They'll get very little invested into this one, but it is the smarter play to take. And at this point, with the amount of damage that pistols can do, we should expect maybe 1 or 2 frags, but overall, this should be Winstrike putting themselves back on the map. Like you said, be able to get themselves up toward a 5th round, potentially, depending how the next gun round goes. And with this being a fairly simple cleanup, Bondik able to find 2 Radifaction in a 1 versus 5. A very, very calm round from Winstrike to keep 5 players alive. And there's Norbert to finish. I think he got himself up on the barrel, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Because it looked like it might have been a jump from the perspective of Radifaction. Yeah, it was on the barrel, though, I can see now. But as you said, yeah, Winstrike, The tie is real, certainly a possibility, but again, I gotta say, I have this distinct spidey sense that unless they can tie it up and unless they can take lead, or the lead in their own hands, Nordavind is gonna start running away as they did on Dust. Sure, a few rounds here and there won't hurt Winstrike, or more so won't won't really, you know, matter in the long run anyway. If they aren't able to make anything out of the economy they've gathered right now and the rounds they've been able to pick up, then they're not in it for the long haul, because then, you know, obviously Nordavind, they've shown us what they're capable of on Dust, the map pick of Winstrike. Now, their own map that they presumably practiced a lot and have prepared for it a lot. Not that this discounts Winstrike, of course. Surely they've practiced on their own on Mirage and everything of the like. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that, first of all, this is second map, right? So Nordavind, they need to win this, and they're Gucci. They're going into the next stage while the Winstrike are eliminated. And second of all, so far Nordavind has been far superior to that of Winstrike. They have been much better. There is no denying that. I don't think anybody can say, yeah, Winstrike are better. This is just a fluke on map 1. No, a fluke on map 1 was a few of the rounds they dropped due to their own mistakes, and as a whole, you know, a few rounds here and there when they really made a few poor choices. But overall, Nordavind was just playing so much better, it is unmammable.
And that's the thing, it wasn't just a couple of lucky rounds that Nordavind got. They were able to dismantle the entire game from Winstrike. And yes, they gave up some silly rounds to that T side on the end, but Bondik, Tensky smart to check that position. And Horzek, he'll claim one as well. This is not good right now for Winstrike, because the rest of their side have to rotate from this A-bomb site. That should have been locked down for the CTs right now, but Rubino, as he sets himself up towards short, he has the potential to be able to deny 2 players. Boomich to come in from short, flashbang in from his teammate, quick, but as
nice fake.
Oh, nice fake though, Boomich. That's a very, very smart play. And there's Tensky inside of the apartments. Horzek there as well. Beautiful first shot, but gets traded back. 1 versus 1. Oh, and a smart play to drop the molly. That surely is the round over. Even with quick on a defuse kit, the Molotov's going to burn long enough. And all Tensky has to do is just buy time, and he definitely has. So 5 rounds denied from Winstrike. Quick should be able to survive and does. But 7-4, and this T side can get themselves back on the road again. The worst part about it is all 5 players die, so they do have to reinvest. Again, it's going to be quite the minimalistic round for the majority. But again, it is a good victory to snatch away from that Winstrike side. If they do come out with this next one as well, that's surely looking for a 9-4 type scenario. But yeah, with the buy round that they do have right now, a couple of Mac 10s, this should be a fast B-site play. And I'm glad they're actually realizing how weak their setup is and moving quicker about it right now, because this could really surprise Winstrike with single man of Norbert toward this B bomb site. They are not even ready for the defense that they brought, but still, he comes away with the first kill.
Oh, that's the bomb. Wait, Redafaction, what are you doing, buddy? You have the bomb. Why would you push like that towards an angle you know and all will be watching? But Horzek denies both players from the behind. Oh, no! This is just getting... It's so weird. It's like... Oh, excuse me. It's going like left and right completely. At one point, it's like Winstrike taking the lead and, you know, really putting themselves up for the retake. Then again, it's Horzek just denying both players from behind and pretty much calling it out, or more so giving the best of chances Nordavind ever would have hoped in a position like this. And yeah, this is... Look at the... This is horrible. World that it gets 1 at least, back to a 3-on-3, but Croman goes through the smoke, snaps away, and Rubino finds 2. Oh, dude. This is, it's fair to say this is the end here for Winstrike. They have no more money to rebuy. Yeah, the World Edit had 8k, but they don't have enough money to buy rifles. Surely they don't. Yeah, they don't go full investment. Yeah, so they still don't have enough money to buy. Only World Edit with the op. But again, alas, Winstrike, it seems like we will have a repeat perhaps of Mirage once more. 4-8 is a concerning result on the CT of Mirage, on the CT side of Mirage. Sure, you know, their CT side might not be the best, but I would actually argue Winstrike are better on CT than that on T. Because simply put, on CT they can at least, you know, find some composure, some sort of, I guess you could say, success. Whilst on the T side, if they get locked down early on, I have seen them before getting completely annihilated. World Edit with the up. Okay, Bondik, the secondary. This is looking a lot better than what we have seen up to this point. A bit unfortunate for Quick, though. Back to a 3-on-2.
Yeah, this 3-on-2 going to be one of the more weirder ones, because even though Winstrike do have a couple of weapons, Bondic down to 50 points of health and a beautiful flash to allow Radefaction that peek there into a 2 versus 2. What it, though, can still be the saving grace. Radefaction, why are you peeking that kind of position? Holzerk, he gets trapped and finished off by Bondic. Even though it's a victory for Winstrike, it's still going to leave them significantly weaker because they lost 4 players. Yes, they'll be able to keep the AWP in hand, but realistically, an 8-5, whilst it's good for that CT side to put one more on the board, actually, there could be a chance to win maybe the next one as well with how weak that Nordavind are, but Winstrike, they have so much money because of that victory and the lost bonus. But overall, Nordavind right now, they're actually fairly weak, so meaning that they might even go for the eco for the final round, but they're not going to. They'll force up 3 AKs, a pistol onto Chrome, and Rubino down to a Mac 10. This actually could go 8-7 if both of these rounds go in the favor of Winstrike, where they win this one, and then there'll be no money left on the T side. We could be seeing an 8-7 to round off the first half, which, I mean, compared or based off of Winstrike's performance in that half already, will be a beautiful success to take into that second. And Norbert, he already opens up 5 versus 4.
And it's going to be Holzerk that falls the secondary as World Edit is ready. The double up is working out perfectly for Winstrike. And this is what you would hope to see. Bondic gets himself a piece of Rubino, although Tensky comes across through jungle, gets himself the refrag back to a 5-on-2, spots the player on short, takes the duel, loses it. It's all eyes on Cromendo. And unfortunately for him, as you said already, the money is so low that if he loses this, the next round is almost surely gone as well. And he spots the player in connector kind of wiggle peeking him. And in the end, it's not really going to change the outcome, which is 6-8 and a potential 7-8 almost secured at this point, as the money for Nordavind is gone. No plant, no buy, no loss bonus, no chance to really fight this last round of the first half of the second map, Mirage. And I gotta say, Nordavind, even if they were to lose this first half 7-8, I think they would still be very much content with how it went down and how it's all going around them. As you know, 7-8 is a good result as any other, no matter how good you might have been in the first half or how good you might have started off. If you're able to close out the half, relatively successfully, you need to be happy with that. You need to accept that, and you need to go on with that, and just keep on playing afterwards. World Edit, no entry for him, secondary as well. And this is the end of the round. Boomich. Oh, this is so smart by Boomich. This is beautiful. That's a triple.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, easy.
Good way to finish from Winstrike, considering the dominance that we saw out of Nordavind in that first half. To bring that up to an 8-7, I think is commendable in itself. So, yeah, getting into that second half, being as close as possible, Winstrike on their T side going to have to bring something special, especially with Nordavind now being on a map they're comfortable on, or at least they've picked to go into that CT side, should be feeling the maybe the weight off of their shoulders. But again, Boomich, relatively quiet, but with the rest of his team, it is fairly even. So yeah, good enough to make it 8-7, really.
Absolutely. And of course, as you said, our second pistol will show who's boss and who's going to be getting themselves back on track or otherwise taking the lead. We'll be right back after a short break.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
And welcome back to our second half. It is going to be, of course, 8-7. And Nordavind on their CT side, things, well, I would argue couldn't have gone better for them. Even if it is 8-7, even if it is, perhaps a bit of a more disappointing, or on the disappointing end of the results they were hoping for, at least how good they started. Their CT side has been impeccable, and they really have given us some amazing performances overall, especially on on Dust. They shut down the play from Winstrike, like, gloriously so. And look at this, an A push. Oh, Tensky turns around at the wrong time. Quick, we'll be able to make do of that. And it's back to a 5-on-4 retake of A, but Nordavind, passiveness of their play so far has been really good.
Yeah, I love the fact that they allow Winstrike to come into that bomb site and rely on their retake. It's actually a strategy that many teams do go for on their CT side. And Rubino, Halzerk, they group together. They find themselves 2 kills. They put them now into a 3 versus 2. And a very, very good scenario as Rubino takes one more. Boomich able to trade back, though. 1 versus 1. And can he do it? No, he can't. What a play there from Nordavind as they close down the pistol. That is something that I realized Nordavind are incredibly good at, especially in their previous best of 3 against Windigo. They won 4 out of 4 pistol rounds that we saw on those 2 maps, yet still lost the games. If they can make the less mistakes in the gun rounds to be able to tie out the pistol rounds and add them all into the success they have, that's how they can dominate, because they're incredibly talented with pistols. And again, they're proving it this time. I'm pretty sure they're on 3 for 3 right now, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They won pretty much everything. And I mean, this is as good as a start as any, although this will be a bit of a poor continuation. I guess you could say the second part, the second series. What I mean by that, of course, is the second round. Boomich finds himself an entry. Does take a bullet to the head, but it's Bonding that picks up the AK now, and they're going to continue on this onslaught towards A. This might just work out at Redefaction. Oh, sprays down 2, and it might be enough. Although it's going to be Tensky opened up on stairs. This is certainly a little bit too much, though, for Tensky. He should have been playing a little bit safer, a little bit more careful. Now leaves Rubino and Kromen to deal with the rest, and this might come back to haunt them, especially if Kromen dies. He's got an MP9 against an AK. That's not going to be very useful. Quick. 40 HP against the 40, or with 44 on Norbert. Things could have been better, but ooh, just as I say that, oh, I hope I didn't really curse them now, because that was just unlucky. The AK drops quick. In a 1-on-2, they know he's in CT. He spots 1, but oh. Whew. Oh my god, my heart cannot take this. That is crazy town right now. That was so close. Imagine if Quick can shut down both here. That would have been beautiful.
Thing is, Nordavind are winning rounds, but Winstrike, they're making it so incredibly difficult to do so. Like, yes, they're on 10-7 right now, and yeah, the money, it's not going to fare well for Nordavind. Winstrike get themselves the bomb plant. They get the round loss bonus beginning to build. Their buy so plentiful compared to Nordavind here. Yes, it's a CT side, and that should be relatively easy to sit back passively, play these angles. But I love this mid-aggression that they're bringing through already. Smoke goes down. It does force that AWP back. Well, then it might have a little bit of a gap there to work with, but I think that's something that Tensky might already be aware of. They're not going to over-assert themselves. Radefaction, though. Oh, well, then it able to pin him through the smoke. Catches himself the tracers, spots the info, and a beautiful way to begin. 5-on-4. And well, did it do it? Oh, sorry, Winstrike doing a great job of being able to find the early entries like they did last round with Boomich to open up inside of mid. It is well did it to do the same again. I think after Tensky aggresses toward top mid, but then falls off, Radefaction should look to do the same. I don't think there's really too much to give there, but Kromen, this could be perfect. If Boomich gets caught out, that might work out. Kromen catches one, but can't find any more. Yes, he trades back, but into a 4 versus 3, and still the advantage sitting with Winstrike. And if they win this first gun round, Nordavind will be in a whole world of trouble moving forward. They'll have no money left, and that's going to be already their CT side beginning to feel diminished, so they have to keep themselves in this game. They do have an AUG and an M4, but backed up by an MP9, it's not particularly the most strongest weaponry, but with time ticking, they're starting to leave the A bomb site fairly weakened right now, which is never always a good thing to be doing. Yes, Rubino on the flank, but overall, oh, this could be good. I'm getting dust flashbacks, timing. 20 seconds. This has to go now. They have to run towards site. There's no more time for repention. They have to go. And where's the rotation from Nordavind? Finally, Halzerk realizes it, starts running towards CT, or more so towards A, but for a second, this should be a save actually by Nordavind. I think they should save this. Yeah. I think there's no point in trying to retake it, simply put, because they no longer have either the time or the positioning to retake it. If they had had a player in CT already deep while the bomb was being planted, and Rubino wouldn't have pushed Palace and he just stayed where he was, maybe in CT, or excuse me, in Pit or Palace, no matter, then, you know, I would see a potential retake coming. But yeah, Nordavind, first of all, they took too long to rotate over, as well as the fact that they are a man down. Obviously, they won't risk their weapons. They realize that their economy is in a bit of a
shitty spot, so they can't really afford to lose those weapons. Do they reinvest? I'm fairly certain they don't, or do no, actually they should, because the faction and Halsek have a double eco, so they should reinvest. Like they're going to be forced to play double eco anyway. Yeah, so here we go. It's going to be 2 pistols. We have the MP9 on Rubino. And this is still a pretty decent buy, even though it doesn't seem like it. The utility will be supporting it, 2 defuse kits, which is a lot more than usual, and the 2 rifles can change everything. And Halsek, well, he confirms the first at least. There's the kill on Boomich. Second as well. Jesus, Halsek!
Oh my god.
What the hell?
What? I'm so confused. Roman, he finds one more.
Oh.
See, this is the thing that really grinds my gears, because Winstrike, they should expect this round.
Yep.
And with a team like this being together for this long, should have the teamwork and the orientation set up to make sure that these rounds do not happen. If you're a team on a full buy, if you go against pistols in this kind of position, you know that you either group up and hit a site, you know, with an execution style setup, what blocks out weapons like the Desert Eagle, like the MP9, that's your way to win the round, or you split toward a site, give them that many angles to look at that they don't have a clue what to do, and they fall because of their own worries. Winstrike did neither. They allowed Halsek to progress through mid, something that they've done like 3 times on the CT side already, in a beautiful smoke or denial there to be able to allow an angle for Halsek. And Nordavind, they're showing us so much. I love the way that they're playing Mirage, and Halsek, he catches through the angle. What a way to begin this round. 5 on 4 already, and Winstrike, they lose this round. They are significantly weaker. Look at their money. They've invested everything right now, and this is where Nordavind can break them. But again,
he's going to boost.
But Boomich, that's so smart. He takes down, the Tensky, that's so smart. Takes down Boomich, and a 5 on 3 with so much time left.
I am a little bit disappointed in Winstrike, or more so quite a little bit more than just a little bit. I expected more from them, especially given how well they performed in our first season, excuse me. Yeah, sure, you know, they're not the best, they're not the greatest, they're not the fastest, but they're certainly, you know, they had a certain quality to them in Season 1. And they were fighting for that last spot in the playoffs as well, as far as I can remember, right? They were the ones that were fighting for the points to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, it was like Winstrike and XCOM that were
they were basically in a bit of a tie themselves, kind of deciding as to, or more so trying to find out who's going to be, you know, taking it or not. Still going to be 2 on 2 though, so there's a chance Winstrike still wins this round, but there's a player coming out of Palace, and Rubinho deploying a decoy, I think, into CT. I think this is a good choice. Might actually draw attention from Winstrike. But again, this is going to be a hard one for both sides, really, in this case. Norbert, he's ready for that stairs pick. He's kind of expecting it, but the timing for him is so bad. Oh no, the Molotov, there's enough to defuse. No! Oh no! Oh! He defused. No, he didn't defuse, excuse me.
No, he didn't defuse.
He burned Croman alive. Oh my god, I thought he defused. Oh, whew. Oh man. Oh, my heart is racing right now. This game. What is going on?
It's so back and forward, but again, Winstrike's so lucky to come out with that round. If the Molotov doesn't burn, if Croman, even if he threw it wrong or anything like that, it would have been done. The round would have been over, and that's never a way to be winning your rounds from Winstrike. If you want to win rounds, you do it confidently. You make sure the job is done, and you go into the next as confident as ever. They're riding the wave of just having a little bit of luck in their favor right now. They have to just make it more consistent. They have to be able to close out rounds confidently in themselves that they do get the job done. And with a match pause, I assume, in the favor of Nordavind, and with an 11-9 scoreline and an eco most likely on the cards, this does allow Winstrike an invite back into this game to make it 10-11 and be able to get in the realms of possibility of tying things back up. But with Nordavind being on that CT side, it always does favor them to be able to close out this game, with the way that a CT side is just generally the easier side to play. But yeah, right now, Winstrike, they have to be able to get consistent with the rounds that they're winning, or Nordavind will just be able to grind these out and take victory.
Yes, they will. I mean, this is what happened on Dust. This is what you would expect to happen on Mirage if it goes down the same way. Certainly right now, Winstrike are much more competitive against Nordavind than they were on of course, on Dust. But Nordavind, damn, I do like how they're playing. I really like their little quirks and little, I guess you could say, little special tactics here and there. They implement the same way Wendigo does their pushes into certain rounds that they know could cut through their opponents, and that's kind of the best thing to see ever. You see so many teams play this defaulty style without any sort of change, and they, you know, even the players themselves might not change their positions too many times, and there's so many times, or more so, there's so many moments where those players get caught in the same spot time and time again. It is quite sad, or more so quite bad to see that. And one thing Nordavind I've realized is that they never allow themselves to be caught in the same place more than twice. Maybe, you know, first time he gets surprised, the second time he's going to try it again, but if he gets caught, he's going to change it up immediately and probably not return back to the same position again unless, you know, the situation will warrant it. One thing to mention is they push top mid. They deployed the top mid smoke, they push up, and then they realize, okay, there's a guy probably waiting behind the smoke. They did lose, I believe, it was Holes, or was, no.
Ratifaction, I think.
Oh, Ratifaction pushes top mid, yeah, and it was a World Edit caught him through that little bit of a gap. The point what I'm trying to make is, you know, there's still a few chinks in the armor, if we can call it that, for Nordavind, but they seemingly are polishing their gameplay more than ever. And, you know, they develop their quality even during the game itself, even during the rounds themselves. And that is something you can't take away from a team. And Nordavind, if they really will give us or more so, if they will give us a victory here, as you would initially expect it to be, you know, perhaps great things might yet happen. Perhaps a complete turnaround from this Swiss third Swiss round, or more so overall Swiss rounds, where they are 0-2. They could turn it into 3-2. Obviously a long way to go and a hard one to go, but alas, Winstrike is the first opponent to deal with. And this is already, well, with one map in the bag, perhaps kind of, you know, having a bit of an easier, or at least a bit of a calmer route to that victory.
Yeah, and especially with this being the map that they have picked,
yeah.
Even with an eco round, they should be maybe putting a kill or two on the board, but overall, Winstrike, they should be tying things back up at 10-11. The scary part is, as soon as we get into that next gun round, again, it will begin to hold a lot of danger for this Winstrike side. As Nordavind, just, like you said, they seem to get better and adjust themselves, their mistakes in the game itself. And I think if you're against a side that has the young talent like this, like Holzerk and Ratifaction, both of which, you know, I think Holzerk was on Nordavind in their previous iteration.
Yeah.
And then, of course, back with this one. But, yeah, with Holzerk and Ratifaction teaming up as well, and just the more experienced players like Rabino and Tensky, it does add for a very, very... And Croman as well, actually, with obviously his time and phase. But Bondic spotting Ratifaction, wanting to run away, make sure that he is safe. But, yeah, as that bomb goes down in a 5-on-3... Nothing particularly too great should be happening for Nordavind. They do catch themselves a kill onto World Edit. That's the AWP. But even so, as the round does get cleaned out by that T side, we'll get to double figures for the Winstrike side. So, yeah, still keeping it competitive for now.
Absolutely. And I like this. Winstrike certainly also improving on their losses and more so on their mistakes from Dust. Although they will lose perhaps a player. Yeah, they lose one. I thought there was a second, but not really. Boomich will catch onto that faction. So it's back to only Holzerk. And, ooh, he's been hurt. Still takes away Boomich. Might find a second. Oh my god. That's a horrible amount of damage to actually receive in a round you win against Ecos, really. This is pretty much amazing for Nordavind, actually, because now they have their own full buy coming up. Holzerk has enough money to buy the AWP. We've got the AUGs out, the M4s, no defuse kit, which I am very much concerned about. But alas, again, Nordavind, they seem to... Oh, Rubinho, he's going to peek short. Oh, he's not even going to peek short. He's going to stay in ladder room, aka whorehouse. Unfortunately for Croman, he's going to be caught off second. No, Tensky denies it. Tensky needs to survive, though. Tensky needs to fall back. Luckily that he does, as World Edit misses his chance. And it's back to a 4-on-4 with Norbert waiting in B house. Winstrike have seemingly slowed down. I think initially they wanted to push fast short and get a bit of a surprise, I guess you could say, bamboozle onto Nordavind, trying to get them off their, I guess you could say, off their game, trying to surprise them overall. And Rubinho, he's the one man that's going to be preventing all of this. And as long as they don't check him initially, he should be getting away with a kill or two. Ooh, Holzer, jump spot, still hits the what headshot? Oh. What? That head was behind the wall. How does he actually hit it so nicely while jump shotting? Oh my god, quick. He doesn't see the player in CT, obviously. And Boomich is going to sneak on through connector. But Winstrike, this is a pretty poor start for them so far.
Yeah, and with allowing Holzerk that much of an aggressive stance inside of B apartments, that does now give so much info to this Nordavind side that it's probably going to be the A bomb site that the T's do regress toward. And quick this time, that Molotov, oh, he doesn't even need to throw it, he'll dispatch of Radifaction already. And as that bomb goes down, wouldn't even be too surprised if they pull off for a save right here, but with Rubinho dead, 2 players left alive, it does make things incredibly difficult. The scary part is the experience of Winstrike is something that can win them games alone. To be able to get into those situations where it does get a little dangerous, where it does get a little gritty, you have to sort of knuckle down and get the game completed. And I think if Winstrike win this second map, most likely they win the third as well, off of the back of being able to come through with that experience, to be able to have the just overall mentality to ride through a game like that. And as we're tied up at 11-11, Nordavind, they really have to start getting these rounds successful. Yes, again, it's going to be another eco for this CT side, but the gun round has to be very, very sort of rewarding, or else Winstrike, they will run away with these types of rounds, and they're really going to hit hard about how Nordavind, again, have these opportunities to capitalize, but aren't seemingly taking them. And with the overall youth, or the not the youngness, but the sort of not being in these scenarios, inexperience too often, that will not serve them too well if they lose this second map and have to go into a third, because their mentality will be kind of low. They'll be like, oh, we could have done it in the second, now we have to battle the third, but just hold on a second.
Don't tell me.
2 frags found, and Norbert, he's being contested. Croman, he finds one, and with battling away as that Molotov goes down, they will finally be able to take him out. But Holzerk, he does the same. Well, that it down into a 1 versus 3. And what a way to fall from this kind of round. Well, that he has to pull off something spectacular in this round, and it seems just too far-fetched right now.
Oh, this is so painful to watch. It was a 4, it was actually a 5-on-4, and then Boomich got caught in pit, and then Bondik immediately after, or was it Norbert? I'm not sure. In any case, Winstrike are in deep trouble, and if unless World Edit can find a hat trick here and win the round, he's not going to go very far overall. There's the first man, at least. He sees the second, I believe, almost certainly kind of realizes perhaps there's somebody there. And he will pick up the AK. Smart call. World at 1-on-1. Now he wins this. 100% already won. Rubinho, not enough time. Thank God World Edit is able to clutch this. That would have been devastating to lose. And he still dies in the end. So no saving for Winstrike. At least no AWP. And Rubinho dies as well. So that's the lucky part of it all. But Jesus Christ. How does Winstrike allow a thing like this to happen? To give all, or more so, to put all the weight of this game, on of this best of 3 onto World Edit. I think that is, you know, too much to ask out of him. He is an opper. He is not, you know, he can clutch obviously, but you can't rely on him consistently to be able to save your asses. You have to play together. And I think the first real overstep, or more so a mistake, was from Boomich pushing alone through pit while the player in Palace tried to help him as well. I think it was Norbert back then. In any case, it's going to be another buy, another chance, and it's going to be 12-11. First time that Winstrike take the lead in this series. Actually, no, the second time they take the lead since Dust 250. But the faction finds the entry. Ooh, Boomich, he's made his way through CT, though. This flank could actually work out. If nobody's going to check him, this could go deep, and this could go very badly, very quickly for Nordavind. I love this. I love this so much. Boomich, yeah, that's a free kill. Goodbye, Ready Faction.
Oh, he's going to play it smart as well. He might just look for a second. He won't find too much info straight away, but he's able to confirm that the A site is relatively clear now, and that should be, again, another success for Winstrike. A 4 versus 4, you can't deny that Nordavind have that retake potential, but I think if you're a side at this point, with 4 players and 4 rifles still alive, I just go for a save. I'd pull out of this round entirely and just go for the save, just to make sure you have guns. Yeah, it's it's given up a round, but it's still going to be somewhat of a successful endeavor. But still, they're going to lose men left, right, and center. Back into a 2 versus 2. Bondik already pulling away from the bomb site. Sorry, 3 versus 2 is Bondik still alive there.
Yeah, this round is good.
But,
it's gone.
Yeah, it definitely is. 13-11. And I think right now the tide might have just turned in the favor of this Winstrike roster.
Yeah.
They should be able to go for 14 now, considering the buy of Nordavind is not there. And I think the time is done in this game. I think Mirage is a map that Nordavind might just have to avoid. We've seen them play it 3 times now. And if they lose this one, that's going to be the 3rd in a game where they had countless opportunities to be able to close it out. I think Mirage might just be one for them to go back to the drawing board, bring Overpass in as that more stable map. Again, picking it against Winstrike probably wasn't the best idea, so I'm glad they did go for Mirage. But yeah, they've not particularly shown us too much on this map itself.
No, they have not. Certainly a lot different than that of Dust, that's for certain. But overall, you know, the performance has been improving consistently.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, that retake was a bit of a mistake. I guess Nordavind, they've already delayed their push so long. By the time they got to it, they lost 2 men. And, you know, in the end, they kind of lost it for nothing. Instead of saving 4 rifles, where they could have been potentially buying here. Oh, Croman! Wow, okay. Croman finds 2 kills. Still, he gets away with these kind of kills. This is unacceptable. Winstrike have to respond to this faster. Surely they knew there was a second guy on site. They heard the shots. They knew there was somebody on short. And they should have been, you know, responding to him sooner. And Tensky finds one more. 3 on 2. This is not yet done, Kieran. Luckily, it's quick to deny at least the push through doors. And it's going to be back to Tensky and Holzerk. And unfortunately for them, Quick and World didn't have too much in hand to deal. Almost too much to handle overall. So 14-11 and another buy for Nordavind, almost the last one. Losing this will most likely result in losing the map, as you said. Mirage still a little bit shaky for Nordavind by the looks of it. Not exactly where we'd imagine it being, especially since they picked it. You know, it's seemingly more so very similar to that of Winstrike's Dust, right? You picked it, you can't lose it like that. At least you can't allow yourself to be losing it as much as you are. Again, though, it is an up on Holzerk. He's going to be blinded out. Oh, whoa, what a reaction. Slowed one. Still hits the shot. Gets away scot-free. 41 HP is not that big of an issue. And Tensky, that nade will do a lot of damage. Norbert and World Edit. Well, that's what you would want to see. And seems like World Edit... Oh, excuse me, not World Edit, but Nordavind. Oh, just as I say it, they find 2 back. This round is so random.
Yeah, so back and forward. Right now, Radifaction, he'll do more damage. Bondik taken out of the round, and that is surely... Yeah, with Norbert down to 2 points of health, that is the round entirely. I'd hope that Norbert right now... Yes, he picks up that AWP. I would have liked him just to throw it out of the map. Just take it somewhere, get rid of it, because if he dies with this, Nordavind surely pick up a double AWP setup. I think at this point, with so late in the game, they kind of have to.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they have to, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They've played it.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't. So perhaps, you know, they have a bit of a different tactical sense in mind in this case. That
it would have been nice, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see. That's the point, right? You want to put one on A, you want to put one on A, or excuse me, on mid, or you can put, you know, one on B and one on A. Whatever you want to do. There are so many variations of it that you can really take Winstrike by surprise. Now, Winstrike, as we do see, their money's taking a bit of a blow due to the fact they lost so much HP, almost so many weapons in the last few rounds they won. They're in a similar position Nordavind was on Dust, where they're forced to eco so they can reinvest, and Tensky needs to stay alive here. He's crucial to the defense of mid, and Holzerk finds one great nade as Bondik, Norbert, and Boomich fall down below 60, 70 HP. And, well, Norbert's going to be pushed even further back with a little bit less than 60. But again, Nordavind, I mean... It looks shaky, right? It looked pretty weird up to this point. It seems like they've kind of woken yet again. The beast is here again. You know, everybody hitting their marks. Although, I would mention the fact that Radifaction, the last time we saw Nordavind was very quiet. Radifaction didn't really do much, or more so he was quite ineffective in the entirety of the best of 3 for them. Whilst today, he's certainly been showing up and, you know, giving those crucial kills, crucial entries to Nordavind. But again, he's not exactly, you know, on the top of the leaderboard, with Holzerk and Croman currently taking that title. Look at this speed push, not going to be successful. Croman is ready. Oh, he's not expecting 2 players close range, but Rubinho is able to refrag. And Winstrike, they'll be lucky if they get away with 1 or 2 more kills here.
Yeah, and especially considering that, ooh, they'll be locking out the round surely, but Tensky Final man left alive. They do actually clean 2 up, which I think is a very successful endeavor for them. But either way, going into a 14-13 scenario, the buy round for Winstrike now has to hold so much presence. They have to resonate within the minds of Nordavind and shut them down entirely, or else at this point, Winstrike are not yet secured. They're not yet putting a 15th round on the board. They haven't guaranteed overtime. They've not gotten anywhere near to a 16th yet. And with the Nordavind side pressing to be able to tie this up with Rarefaction close in this kind of angle. No one watching from stairs for the initial peak, but as they aggress, they have no idea. They do trade him back very quickly, which is the saving grace of the round, but Holzerk and Rubino, that's a beautiful shutdown. Make it even more. And what is going on right now? Surely Winstrike, Nordavind have to go up to 15-14 at this point. There's no money left on this T side. They have to eco for this final round of regulation play, and this gives an opportunity for Nordavind to snatch away a victory.
Whew, this is... I don't even know how to describe this properly, but I would only say as a big-ass failure for Winstrike. Big L, big mistake, big no-no, big not acceptable to push Palace when you have 14-13 on the board. You're leading, you have a full buy, you barely had enough to really invest into that buy because, you know, your Opera is on a Galil. I think that tells the story in itself. So they push through Palace and they don't even check the first corner. And okay, yeah, sure, they got the refrag, all Gucci, all good there. You know, they got the kill back, but the loss was too much to endure right after. If they pick the first man, if they kill Rarefaction on Palace immediately, and he doesn't get a single kill, there's a high chance they can get the secondary on Holzerk and CT. Even if they lose one, they can still refrag. It's a 4-on-4, and they have a fair chance to actually start winning it back. Or, excuse me, a 4-on-3. Whilst losing the first man, then having to change their perspective, more so they're aiming towards the guy in the corner, allowing Holzerk to actually peek cleanly without being opposed. And all of a sudden, you have 14 rounds on Nordavind and a match being paused, presumably for a tactical talk between the players of Winstrike. This is looking pretty poor. They were up 14-11, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
They were looking excellent. They looked like they might actually be able to close out the map. But instead, well, I think we have everything on a platter right now. We can see it here. 3 rounds in a row for Nordavind. They're back in action. They reset Winstrike. And I think right now our Russian boys have realized, yeah, this is going to have to be an eco, guys. I think we have to accept overtime or a complete loss. Because if they would have had forced up here and lost, that's 100% certainty loss of round afterwards, or at least loss of this game. Best case scenario, they go into overtime.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they have to at least give up overtime right now. They cannot afford to buy, like you said, and... Oh, Boomich. Nice little surprising shot as they're able to sneak out onto this A bomb site. There's no defense apart from Rarefaction. There is a rotating player over. Bondik will get shut down eventually. Tensky trying to battle from this jungle position and should be able to successfully do so. If they can deny the bomb plant, that's perfect. Winstrike will have no heightened economy apart from that loss bonus going into the next round, meaning they'll be at least limited on that kind of front. Yeah, it is max, so... Lucky for them that they do have plenty of cash coming in. Tensky even getting challenged toward jungle as well, but realistically this should be a 15th for Nordavind and a chance for them to maybe close it out and snatch away the result from this T side. And again, with Winstrike being in this kind of position, you've got to expect them to be able to close it out. Boomich, though, he gets one more onto Tensky, finds himself a second kill of the round. Yeah, there was very little of it, really.
Yeah, very no reaction. Yeah, I don't know how to point it. A dead horse's reaction. Croman, though, he's already on site. If Quick doesn't check this corner right behind him, he's about to die. And goodbye, Quick. Boomich gets a kill, actually. He's isn't connected, though, and they know he's there. And, of course, they're going to finish him off easily. But the plant happens, so that's the saving grace here for Winstrike. Even though they will be fighting for overtime, they at least have... the plant down, they at least have that fair chance of a full buy of the op on World Edit and an actual opportunity to go into 15-15, you know, and give themselves a chance to actually go into third and final map of the night. But This is gonna be a hard one. It's gonna be an on Holzer still, and 4 AUGs. I think that in itself is a scary consideration to have. And yeah, look at this. Nordavind, they adjust. They put 2 players into connector, and they will leave Holzer alone on B this time. This is quite the change of direction, actually. This is heavy A presence, looking to defend against any sort of an A split, and this is exactly what's coming against them. Winstrike, they're gonna be executing A split, and this, if they do not do it correctly, if they can't get a kill early on and they can't deny the defense of Nordavind, this is a round gone, because 4 players of Nordavind are already on A site, and they are seemingly prepared for this kind of incursion. Although, ooh, turning back round, this is a fake towards A towards B, actually. My god, this is quite the play, and this might actually work. Boomich finds the kill, bonding this the first one, and this might actually turn things on its head. Nordavind are not prepared, and finally Winstrike give us what we had wanted to see all game long. Some sort of change, some sort of better performance, and they're giving exactly that. Aldrich still finds it back to a 3-on-3, misses his chance, will be taken down. That is a lucky break for Quick, and for Winstrike as a whole. But Croman, Jesus.
Rubino and Croman both towards short. And as well that it pins down the first. Surely we go to OT. Well that he spots the first man. Misses the shot. Ooh, misses the second as well. But in this 1 versus 2, actually able to spam down very, very low there. Well that it down to 7 points of health.
Oh no.
And as he makes it into a 1 versus 1, surely not. Well that it's... He saves the life of Winstrike. Again, another 1vx clutch that was reliant on World Edit's success. And he does come out on top. 15-15, and we go to overtime here in our second map on Mirage. Again, you gotta say that it's been so hard battled as we go into this. And right now, there is no real defined winner. It is going to be reliant on who gets the better start here on overtime. If Winstrike can take it to a 3rd map, again, I still have the thought that they will be able to close out Inferno, and Nordavind, they'll be wanting to deny that. So, yeah, they need a good start on this CT side, but Winstrike, in this Mirage map, have been showing us a lot more on T side than on that CT side, which is something that we very rarely see out of these guys.
Usually the T side is a lot less constructed and more so just kind of a bit, you know, just run around, get yourself in a good position, get an entry or 2, and then just try to do something with that. But seems like they certainly had this last strategy in their hands. Initially, it looked like an A split, but I actually like the I guess you could say the change of direction, or more so the change of overall decision tactic, that they put 3 players into pit. I would argue that perhaps initially this might have been an A split decision, but initially, or more so during the round itself, when they were actually deciding what they're going to do, they decided, okay guys, you know what, we're going to go A split, or more so we're going to go A split, and then during that call they made, okay, you know what, no, forget that, run back towards B, you guys in A pit, and the guys that are mid are going to boost in window, the Boomage is going to be trying to lurk through CT into window, and or more so through window into CT and into kitchen, while the rest will be wrapping from B. The one thing I would mention though, Nordavind making a crucial mistake. Nobody was checking jungle, window, or otherwise CT backline. That is a basic error that as the CT you can never allow to happen. You should always be aware. If you're not watching window, if you're not watching jungle, and you know, I guess connector is smoked off, you should know, okay, there's a high chance we could see a boost into window, or there's a high chance somebody might want to flank. We need somebody to control that one angle. And if only Nordavind had one person watching that position, doesn't matter if he gets the kill or not, as long as he's watching that spot that nobody can, you know, cross without him knowing, then I am fairly certain Nordavind still win the round, just because they can readjust and respond in time to the action that is coming out of Winstrike. And even then, if Nordavind do not lose the player in CT, if Boomich is denied, then Winstrike have only 3 players coming through B house, and everything changes again for the worse. But in any case, second half is coming up, or more so, excuse me, first overtime, first half is coming up, and this is going to be fun to see how it turns around.
Especially considering that Nordavind can close this out, and I think need to close this out to go into any chance of victory. But yeah, Winstrike, they might be able to turn this around either way. We'll find out as our overtime kicks off after a short commercial break from Loot.bet.
for live betting.
And welcome back. We are ready to prepare ourselves for our first overtime. And it certainly is not going to be easy for either team, but Winstrike, I think they've proven to us that they are capable of winning this series, if nothing else, at least one map. In any case, it is going to be our first half of first overtime here, and Winstrike looks like they want to perhaps go towards B early on, at least with World Edit on the up, going very aggro towards B apps, and a second player joining him, that's going to be Norbert. This is a bit indecisive as of the moment, but again, Nordavind though, ooh. I like the decision that they take mid-control aggressively. They have the anti-flash setup, I believe, on Tensky. So he's going to be the one that's going to be kind of holding lower from that spot, while Holzerk is kind of holding top mid-left. And what a slowdown. What a change of pace, actually.
Yeah, this is actually a really nice setup from both teams, actually.
Yep.
I love the fact that Nordavind put themselves inside of mid, but Winstrike, after the very, very fast pace of the last round, have brought it to a very slow pace where they can control what happens. And right now, Nordavind seeing very little very early.
Oh.
Flashbang to go through. That's a beautiful way to begin. Tensky being gifted by his teammates' flash, and no refrag just yet. Norbert finally to put one on the board. Avoids the grenade though, and Holzerk keeps himself alive. This looks great right now for Nordavind as they begin with a man advantage. They make that 2. And this does not look good for Winstrike. They will fall apart already in the first round of overtime. And you've got to think, if Nordavind were able to do that in the previous round, we wouldn't be here. But still, battling so valiantly to make sure that the pace does not fall from the CT side. Croman able to spot out Norbert, readjust to make sure he stays himself alive. And with so little time left, yes, the bomb will make its way toward the A site, but Radifaction, he's already nice prepared for this. Oh, quick actually, yeah, to be able to shut down. They'll get themselves a free bomb plant here. Croman does make it into a 1 versus 2. And there's Holzerk to finish. The bomb plant not particularly adding too much to this round. Of course, every player has money for this one. But either way, a successful round from Nordavind as they put 16 on the board and begin overtime.
Yes, it is. Definitely. Definitely a lot better. Than what we've seen in the last 2 rounds of, or more so the last round of, well, regulation time. But Winstrike, at least they get the plant. Oh wait, it's $16,000. I always forget about that. I'm used to 10k MR3, right? So 3 rounds each side, $10,000 each side. But yeah, $16,000. The plant doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It would have been perhaps even better to not plant and just hope that the guy in CT peeks you and get the kill and back to a 1-on-1. But yeah. It will be, of course, Winstrike still having pretty much everything they need. The open world edit, full utility on everybody else. And for as far, or more so as far as I can see, they're looking to go A split again. Perhaps trying to repeat the same strategy from the ultimate round, from the last round. Although this time perhaps truly committing towards A itself. Boomage gets the kill, but it's a good refrag from Rubino. Still gonna be a 4-on-4 on A strike, or more so an A default take. And, well, Winstrike will plant Navi. This is pretty standard. This is pretty classic stuff. But, ooh, through the smoke world, and it's 5 HP. How does that happen? And this retake might actually be really difficult. Look at Bondik. He's going for the deep flank. And if he succeeds in it, that's the round gone. That's the game. Almost, so at least the tie back to Winstrike.
This could be so perfect. Even though players are inside of Connector, it shouldn't particularly matter too much. Bondik, all the attention been taken away from him, and he'll find a first. That's the round. A beautiful setup from Winstrike. You've got to say, Bondik is the sort of brains behind that. If he gets that flank done, not only does Norbert find that first kill, but Bondik taking one more distracts the attention. That's the round done in itself there. So yeah, beautiful showing from Winstrike to tie it up at 16-16. And Nordavind, that's the sort of thing that we don't see out of these guys. They're playing more of the standard kind of default setups. Yes, that will come with time, and they'll be able to develop their strategies way deeper, but oh, well, that he'll already find a first, and yes, there is a double AWP setup. I'm kind of liking this, actually. Something that we haven't seen from Nordavind yet in regulation. They're bringing out in OT. I can kind of, I can get behind that. It adds a whole other element, and with Holzerk loving to go aggressive with this AWP, he will have to be careful, though, especially with World Edit watching the angle. But yeah, he's going to keep himself inside of Palace, so a good setup so far. But they have to be able to trade back this kill if they want success. And with Winstrike setting up for, again, a very, very passive approach. It seems like the A site might be the way they finished this round, but overall, I'm loving the fact that Winstrike aren't going and giving away scenarios, but Holzer, that's a beautiful kill to begin with. He's got all he needs now. Run back to A site. You've got this as a kill would come, but yeah, he's already made it back, and that's a beautiful refrag.
The biggest problem here is the fact that Winstrike are now delayed for, you know, even if it's just by 10, 20 seconds, that's more than enough for Nordavind to respond with their own tactic, or more so with their own play. With a 4-on-4 now in the hands of Nordavind, they certainly have a very fair chance of actually winning this still. Well, for Winstrike, 35 seconds. Time is ticking. Even less, though, actually, than 35. 30 or 26 if you count the bomb plant. Holzer blinded out, and Smoke still gets the kill on Norbert. And it's back to a 3-on-4, and this is starting to really, really dissipate quickly. By each passing second, Winstrike are losing chances, or more so losing position, and Boomage gonna go for the Navi plant. Croman gets him back. There's no plant. 10 second, no plant, no chance. Still, though, Holzer gets one more. It's all eyes on World Edit. If he plants here, at least they get something, but in the end, it's the last round of the overtime, and, well, it is gonna be lost. 17-16. And Nordavind secure themselves at least a round difference and 2 to victory, while Winstrike is going to have to go for 3 in a row. But this is... what a game by both sides. And I got to give it there to Holzer. Without his push into Palace and without his knowledge and denial of the Palace push initially, I don't think Nordavind can win the round. 34 kills for Holzer, 32 for Croman. I think that in itself is a testament that, you know, right now Nordavind, they really are being pulled far and, well, to great distances by these two players.
Yeah, playing a seemingly perfect game right now. And like you say, with these guys fragging out of their minds, just essentially doubling what some of these players have. Obviously, Norbert, 18 frags is 36. Holzer only 2 away from that. So seemingly an outstanding performance from him so far. But yeah, with Winstrike right now, they have to go into this second side and be able to put a round on the board almost straight away. Or like you say, they'll be battling against the tide. They'll be battling against that map point, series point in itself, actually. So, yeah, they have to be able to put all 3 on the board. And I think on that CT side, they will have an easier chance to be able to do so. But with Nordavind, the way they started that T side and getting the sort of 5-1, 6-1 kind of result lead, that's going to set them sort of confidently to begin this half as well. So, yeah, Winstrike, they're going to have to find success straight away here, or else Nordavind, they'll be knocking on the door of a victory, and especially in overtime, no one wants to lose in OT, especially considering how much you've dedicated to the game, but eventually there has to be a winner. Winstrike, they'll just have to show us some brilliance and begin this CT side, but right now a full, of course, purchase for either side. Nordavind going for more of a faster A-site presence show, maybe get some early info shown out. Holzer... okay, gets grenaded and already tagged down to death as that Molotov burns him alive. And that's definitely not a way to beginning your T side here. Redifaction, the second man to fall.
Wow.
And Boomich finds one more. Winstrike, I called for success and they deliver.
Oh, wow.
Can't even find a frag in return. And what a way to begin here on the CT side.
That is one way. Is this warm-up? Because that felt like warm-up. It's like Nordavind just ran out on the map and within 20 seconds, everybody died. It's like, okay, so again, a new one. 17-17, as he said, and certainly Winstrike delivering what we would want to see, what we would expect to see out of them. Up to this moment, or up to this this round, they obviously still showed up, but they never really gave us something to cling on to say, oh yeah, this is signature Winstrike. They are actually starting to really fight back. And we see Croman this time will find an entry back to Nordavind, or at least give them an entry. As the rest of Norda are kind of slowing down. I'm actually not too fond of the fact they're playing so dissected, or more so split up. Especially with the player in B house being as pushed up as he was. If he gets killed, there's no chance of a refrag, and it really just limits the capabilities Norda can pick up. But yet again, Winstrike, the responding kind, putting their second player on B, leaving A wide open. But this is actually really smart. It is a 5-on-4, sure, but the retake on A is always possible. No matter, You know, if it's a 5-on-4, or if it's perhaps a 4-on-3, or even a 5-on-3, it's retakeable. Whilst for B, you have to defend it. Oh, Croman finds one. Bondic coming in behind, but he was hurt, and World Edit gets the one kill back, but it's still... Oh my god, World Edit finds himself a second, unfortunately not ready. Jesus, what is this game?
So incredibly back and forward.
Boomich.
Oh, Boomich! Surely not. Okay, Rubino, he keeps the sanity of his team alive. Jesus Christ, that could have got so bad. If Boomich clutches that, you've got to ask questions of this Nordavind side there. If Boomich lands that clutch, what a saving grace. Obviously, there's no real loss of the weapon, so there's nothing to worry about. But yeah, that's... Oof. Jeez, Nordavind should have been,
big oof.
I guess, sweating there.
One thing I would actually like to hear is the communication of Nordavind when all 3 players on site, once they planted the bomb, were watching kitchen. I mean, we can see Holzerk actually adjusted to short, but that was like after already watching kitchen for like 5-6 seconds with everybody watching that one position. They had a player in the left-hand side corner, pizza box, or I don't know how you want to call it, basically, just watching the exit out of window and doors. So he'd already had that corner covered. The second player with the op that was right next to the planter, to Holzerk, was already watching doors as well, deep. And obviously Holzerk, once he realized, oh shit, we're all watching the same angle, I think we have to readjust, it was a bit too late. And if that has actually come back to haunt Nordavind, oof, that is something that shouldn't have happened. But what I'm trying to get at is basically, you know, maybe there was a mistake in communication. Maybe somebody called, oh, there's one more kitchen, and everybody's watching kitchen because of that. So hopefully, you know, that's also something we have to regard, or more so we have to keep in mind, that there can be mistakes in communication. No matter if you're talking in your mother's tongue or your own home tongue, or if you're talking in English with your other teammates, you know, things like that can happen, and it's not unusual that they can happen, but it can defeat a round, or more so can lose you a round. So that's one of the problems that you have to deal with. In any case, 18-17, 1 round to Nordavind, and they will win, or Winstrike go to overtime yet again.
And that's the scary part for Nordavind. The more times they allow Winstrike the chance to get into this round, and the chance to maybe draw out double OT, it's the experience that's going to help Winstrike win this game, because the more that Nordavind are put under pressure, it makes it so incredibly difficult. But Rubino,
Jesus,
what a beautiful way to begin. Catching out Norbert, even though he's been quiet, still an asset that Winstrike need to have. And with quiet, when you say it about Norbert, it's typically like 20 kills or so, so better than most. But right now, that is such a hard loss to take. Rubino even gets a molly out. That forces Bondic out of the van position, which, of course, he can still remain. The Molotov won't go as extensively, but Croman and the rest of his side playing so incredibly passively. I'm not particularly too much of a fan that they're all grouped in T-spawn with this much time gone, but obviously if I rotate back from that B-bomb site, they will head towards A. They have a man inside of Palace, and at least all 4 players, or all 5 players alive to hit this A bomb site with. And I think right now, with the way that Winstrike is set up on this A site, this could bode so incredibly dangerously. Yes, they do have an AWP on Boomich watching that CT position, but a single smoke will block that off. And quick spotting nothing from top mid. Will have to rotate inside of connector, but again, an angle that Nordavind should have covered.
Yeah, luckily Boomich gets the refrag, and certainly will come back to, I guess you could say, haunt the dreams of Nordavind a little bit. Good pop flash, but Bondic is ready. That's a refrag. That's what you would expect. Croman gets denied, and that's perfect. Now Nordavind down a man, and they have to fight against all odds, although Holzer goes close. Oh my god, Holzer finds 2 kills. It's back to a 2v2. Tensky and Palace, as long as he's alive, this round is alive, and it's gonna be quick and World Edit. This 2v2 retake has to go in the way of Winstrike, but it doesn't. It's Holzer. This guy is crazy. He gets mollied out. Doesn't matter. It's still gonna be Tensky, and there's it.
What?
19-17. My god, what?
37 frags.
Oh, this guy. This guy.
What a way to finish a game. If there's ever a way to frag, it's with a 3K. Wow. Some beautiful shots with that AWP. And Nordavind, they take a 2-0. in a time where they could have lost that second map. And I honestly think, like, with no disrespect to Nordavind, that was Winstrike's game. If they destroy the mentality of Nordavind in that second map, Winstrike come and claim the third. But what a victory from that Nordavind side. Winstrike, they're our first team eliminated.
Yeah, they are. They are the first team to be thrown out of the second season after being in the finals of the first, going up against Avangard. Yes, losing, but they were still in the grand finals of season 1. Now, they won't even reach the playoffs. They are gone. They are done. And the first team, as you said, what a disappointing fall from grace for Winstrike. That's certainly going to hurt and certainly going to leave its mark. And, well, I hope to see some changes for them, because certainly this current lineup, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but perhaps, you know, you need to go back to practice a little bit more and really invest a lot of time into improving your overall structure, because it just looked too shoddy. Sure, they win. Sure, they get close. Sure, they pull all overtime. But even Dust 2, if they had played a little bit differently, things could have probably ended up better for them. But in any case, what this will mean is that we will be ending the stream for today, as we had, well, just the one best of 3 lined up. And before we do sign off, before we say our goodbyes, I would like to invite everybody to check my dear friend Kieran, or my co-caster Kieran, on Twitter at KieranTheCaster, or myself at OverCR if you haven't yet. And any follows do help us a lot, of course, overall. But for tomorrow, we have 3 best of 3s as far as I can remember. Maybe not, maybe yes. We'll get that confirmed in time, but certainly at least 1 or 2 best of 3s. I'm fairly convinced. But in any case, I think that's it, Kieran. I think that's pretty much the way we kind of expected it, although in the end, kind of not. It's kind of weird, really. Yeah,
it was one of the weirder best of 3s. I think all elimination type matches are always going to be boding not too well for one team or another. But yeah, at the end of the day, Nordavind, a very impressive 2-0, especially to bounce back from that loss against Windigo. I thought that would have been kind of one that hit home with them after being so close to winning that series as well with the overpass game. But yeah, what a way to bounce back, and hopefully we see more out of these guys, for the fact that we've not really seen a team from this region
at all
have too much success. Like, it's typically individual players like Rain, like Rabina when he gets to that top level, Croman when he stood in for that phase kind of, you know, team. But yeah, it's gonna bode well for these guys, and I hope to see more of them in this tournament as well. And especially now that they got their first on the board, I hope it puts confidence in that side to be able to push for more.
That is correct. That is true. And of course, what that means, that we'll be signing off. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us, for enjoying our broadcast and our cast. If you had, like I said, check us out on our social media. But until the next time, until we will return, or more so until tomorrow, when we return with 3 best of 3s confirmed, I guess you could say. We'll see you at 1 o'clock Central European time, gentlemen. And until then, have a good one. Have a great Sunday left, or whatever is left of it. And I hope I see you all tomorrow. Until then, goodbye and good day.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
These roads intersect, on each one I reflect. These lines write my story. These places change me, each one replacing. Like night into morning, I miss the open air, the going anywhere, riding with you, like we used to. Guess I'm better off alone, never know when I'll get home, but I know that home's where the heart is. Guess I'm better off this way, moving to better days, but I know that home's where the heart is.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
As the leaves start falling down and the shadows above our town, I can finally see you now. I see the fear inside your eyes, I see the pain hidden in your smile. I can finally see you now.